Good evening, ham radio operators. Time is 8 p.m. Central. This is KI5PZN. That's Kilo India 5, Papa Zulu November. My name is Ernesto, and you are now listening to the Okio Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net. Before we get going, is there any emergency or priority traffic in this frequency? Alright, nothing heard. We're here every Thursday night on the Okio Amateur Radio Club frequencies and the University Link repeater system. I'm transmitting tonight from East Austin. I'm using the 147.320 repeater. For more information regarding the club's repeater system, and how to become a member, please visit n5oak.org. You can also participate in this net using the University Link repeater system. For more information about the University Link repeater system, please visit ka5d.com. If you're inside of Austin, we would love to hear from you. The way to get in is the Icholink by connecting to ka5d-r, ka5d-r, or k5tmt-r, k5 Tango Mike Tango-r. You can also reach us via All-Star by connecting to node 51444, 51444. If you're listening through the Okio Amateur Radio Club repeater system and you want to participate, be sure your tone is set to 114.8. For the University Link repeater system, set your tone to 97.4. For club members, we have our own very Thursday Night Net channel on Discord. So swing by and say hi to the folks hanging out there during the net. If you're not a member, what are you waiting for? It's free to join this club, dude. So run to n5oak.org and sign up to become a member and join our Discord group. My name is Ernesto, KI5PZN. That's Papa Zulu November, and I'll be your net controller for this evening. This is a control net, meaning stations should refrain from transmitting until designated check-ins or common time. If you're a new ham or just new to the net, the Okio Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net is social net. We get together every week to share knowledge, ask questions, and just to hang out. It's super easy to check into this net. In just a little bit, I am going to ask for check-ins, and I'll take down a list of all of you that wish to participate. Once we have everyone checked in, I'll go down the list one at a time, and I'll give you the floor. Feel free to ask questions pertaining to ham radio or any other interesting family-friendly subject. Tell us about something you've been working on. You don't have to have a juicy story to call in. You can just call to say hi. We just want to hear from you. Remember, there is no net without check-ins. Man, we have a fantastic net for you tonight, as always. We're going to be doing short-time check-ins for those of you who need to get going. And then, I'm basically explaining to you how the net goes. And then we're going to review a question or two from the general license exam. After that, we do ham news section. Then we do fox hunting news. We call it Fox News. That's Hidden Transmitters News. After that, we get our club announcements and trivia updates from the president. And then, after that, we move on to regular check-ins. If you missed the first round of check-ins, don't worry. We'll grab you on the next round. Please avoid topics of politics, religion, or anything else potentially inflammatory. This net should be anti-inflammatory, y'all. Please keep it clean, nice, and appropriate. This net is family-friendly. It is time for station ID and the opening of the net for check-in, so please stand by. You're listening to the Okio Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, brought to you by the Okio Amateur Radio Club, call sign N5OAK. We're here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central with a different net controller every week to keep it fun and interesting. My name is Ernesto, KI5PZN, that's Papa Zulu November, and I am your net controller for tonight's net. It is time for Showtime check-ins. short-time check-ins means operators who could not stay for the entire net. I will not open the floor for comments or questions for the short-timers. That way you can call in, you say hi, I say hi, and you can go on and do your thing. Now, if you check in as a short-timer and you later want to rejoin the net because the net is beyond awesome, please feel free to read rechecks. Rechecks are always welcome. If you're a brand new ham operator, you just got your license or haven't been on the air that much, I have a couple tips for you. When you press the push to talk button, please count 1 or 2 before you get started talking. Sometimes when we press the button and start talking at the same time, the first part of your transmission might not be heard, repeaters and such, so you want to press the button, wait a little bit, and then you start talking. Also, when you call in to check in, just to make sure you're not doubling with someone, you can key in and say this is, then you'll key and listen to see if you're doubling with someone, and if you're not, then you can key in again and give your name and call sign. I keep the log for this net the old-fashioned way. As you guys know, I use a quill and a scroll, so if you can, please slow down on the call signs when you are checking in, because I'm old and confused. So, if you are busy or busy-ish tonight, but still want to check in, I am looking for short-time check-ins. Short-time check-ins, any modes, anywhere, please come in with your call sign and name slowly.
This is November 5, Sierra Mike Oscar Bill, North Austin.
This is Kilo India 6, Hotel Quebec Tango, Ken in South Austin, no traffic.
This is Kilo India 5, Foxtrot Tango Yankee, Lou in Northwest Austin.
This is Whiskey 5, Sierra Delta, Rick, Dripping Springs, no traffic.
This is Kilo India 5, Sierra Tango Tango, Dave and Buda, no traffic.
This is Kilo Charlie 2, Kilo Oscar Oscar, Dave Tonawanda, no traffic. Good evening, everyone.
This is Kilo India 5, Zulu India Echo, John, North Austin.
We got 7 people here, 7 check-ins here. We got Bill, Ken, Lou, Rick, Dave, and John. So let's go and check with Bill and 5SMO. Bill, what's going on, man? How is the week treating you, my friend?
Hey there, Ernesto and the rest of the group. Life is good. Lots of time to be playing on the radio and good conditions on 10 meters and 15 and 17 and all that good stuff, man. Lots of good daytime, early morning DX to Europe on 10. And just having fun with my little old dipole and 100 watts. And that's all I got. Back to you, N5SMO.
Well, awesome, man. Yeah, glad to hear that. I know that HF has been very active lately. Well, more than lately, for the last year almost now. I have a question. What type of dipole do you have? Do you have one for each band, or how does it work for you? Back to you, Bill.
I have 2 fan dipoles. One of them has, and they're like oriented about 90 degrees off of each other, and neither one of them is straight. They both got a little dog leg in the middle, and one end sloping down towards the ground, and the other end high. So one of them is 20, 40, 6 and 10 meters on one, and the other one is 17 meters and 15 meters. And I'll probably put a 12-meter leg on the 15 and 17 meter one. They're just homemade wire with flattened out, heated up, flattened out PVC pipe cut into narrow strips to use for spacers to hold the wires about 6 inches, 5 or 6 inches apart, and pretty simple. Old MFJ baling in the middle and hoisted up with a halyard, one to the top of my chimney, the other to the top of one of those 4-foot segment military masts that has I think like 6 pieces in it. And that's it. Back to net, N5SMO.
Sounds like a sweet setup. Now, Bill, for the new hams that are listening, what's very, I guess, on a very general description, what will they, when you hear dipole and fan dipole, what's like the main difference for people who are listening who just got into ham radio? Back to you.
A fan dipole has multiple elements on it for different bands that are resonant on different bands that share a common feed point. So from the feed point, the wires kind of fan out, but they fan out to the space of the plastic spacers, and then from there they're parallel. I mean, other people do it different. Some people orient the elements in different directions if you got enough room. So like guy wires, on a tower, you may have them going off in 3 or 4 different directions. I know K5TMT, his fan dipole is built that way. There's a lot of different ways of doing it, but the main thing is it's multiple radiating elements for different bands that are resonant on different bands, but they all share a common feed point, so I only have to run one coax up to them to get a multi-band antenna.
Well, awesome, Bill. I appreciate you giving us the explanation of what the fan dipole is versus the regular, dipole, which is just two cables there. Well, awesome, man. Appreciate you checking in. You got anything else for the net before we move on?
No, that's it. I'll be hanging out listening for a while, and hope you're doing good, and I'll let someone else jump in there. N5SMO, back to Ernesto and the group on the N50AK system.
Well, awesome, Bill. Thanks again for checking in. It's always a pleasure talking to you, and we'll be checking with you soon, man. You take care. All right, well, and then after Bill, we have Ken with No Traffic, KI6HQT. Ken, thank you so much for checking into tonight's net. We'll talk to you soon. And then after Ken, we got KI5FTY Lou in Northwest Austin. Lou, what's going on, man? How is the week treating you?
KI5FTY. The week is going pretty good. Just received today some parts and a board to build a direction finder so I can play around with the Fox Hunt. So hopefully I'll spend this weekend working on that and listening to the online Ham Expo. Back to net control.
Oh, awesome. So what are you building there? Is it like well, actually, I have no idea because I usually use the HT for fox hunting and the mobile rig on my truck. What are you building there? Please explain what all that means. Back to you.
Yeah, it's a direction finder that takes the audio from the HT, and it's got multiple antennas, and so it does a time difference between the audio, switching between the antennas. So you actually build 2 dipoles, put it on a stick, a T-stick, and attach your HT in this device, and it controls the antennas, switches between them, and then does a comparison of the 2 antennas and within the signal phase difference, and it should give you directionality to the Fox.
So that sounds like a portable Doppler type of setup, right?
Yeah, similar, but it's phase-based. So I think that's different, but it's very similar. Back to net.
Well, man, if you don't mind, once you have that project finished, post, or if you want to post pictures as you go on the Fox Hunt channel on our Discord server, that would be really cool, because I'm really curious to see how that turned out, and I would like to see how it works too. For those of you listening and haven't checked on Discord for the last day or so, I'm going to have a fox out there again this weekend, so for those of you who are into fox hunting, this is busy time for fox hunting because the weather is nice. So what's pretty neat, Lou, have you done stuff like that before, or is this, your very first project like that? Back to you.
No, I build a lot. I build a lot of kits, and not so kits, maybe other people's designs, but from schematic. So I'm pretty experienced in building. Not so much in troubleshooting, unfortunately, but I have a lot of fun doing that. But I got supplies for 2 kits, basically. So my daughter, KI5 FTZ, and I, when she gets back from college, can participate in the Fox Hunt together. Back to net.
Oh man, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that, and like I said, I'm very curious to see how that works. So hopefully you guys will be joining us on the fox hunting soon. Now, if you are not done with that project in a couple of weeks, you know that we always keep we do fox hunting almost every weekend, so you can do it the old way with an HC and mode rig in case it takes you longer to put that thing together. You still want to play. Do you have anything else for the net before we let you go?
No, everything's been so far. The only thing I'll add is it'll definitely be done this weekend. Will it be working? Who knows? But if all goes well, I'll be done this weekend. Hopefully can play next weekend. So thanks a lot, 73, and back to net control. KI5 FTY.
Well, awesome, Lou. Thanks again for checking in and for sharing that with us. It's pretty cool and interesting. And I hope you have an awesome rest of the week and a good weekend. All right, well, you are listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, brought to you by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, callsign N5OAK. We're here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. My name is Ernesto, KI5PZN, and I am your net controller for tonight's net. We just talked to Lou, and then after Lou, we have W5SD Rick with no traffic. Thank you, Rick, for checking into tonight's net. After Rick, we have Dave, KI5STT. It's funny, I was talking to Dave the other day, and he said Sonic's tater tots, and that I can't. That's always going to be that. Dave, thank you so much. You were with no traffic. Thanks again for checking into tonight's net. I hope you and Holly have a good rest of the week and a good weekend. Hope to see you guys tomorrow on the Trivia Net. And after Dave, we had the other Dave, KC2KOO with no traffic. Dave, thank you so much for checking into tonight's net. We'll hope to hear you again, and I hope you guys have also a good rest of the week and a good weekend. And then after the second day of the KC2KOO, we have KI5ZIE, John. John, what's going on, man? How is the week treating you?
Pretty good. Recovering from the surgery. I do got to tell you a story. Got myself talking to you the other night when we were talking to the college kids. So I need some advice. I need some advice from anybody on the call. To make a long story short, I don't know, a couple of weeks or so ago, Ernesto was on one of the nets talking about the fox hunt, and my girlfriend, I don't know, was sitting there listening, and Ernesto was describing the fox hunt, and it was totally legit, totally cool, nothing wrong with that. But if you didn't know what a fox hunt was, it sounded vaguely inappropriate. And so my Elizabeth, my partner, jumped up. What, that's rude. And I said, no, baby, it's fine. And then I explained to her what a fox hunt was. I was talking about that. I said, my woman. I referred to her as my woman. And I said something about, oh, yeah, my woman. I was relating the story. Apparently, she was awake in the back. Who knew? In the back room. And I have heard nothing else. Yes, and my granddaughter just chimed in the background saying she woke up because you said my woman. But my question is not so much about race, but if you're a single guy, I've been married a couple of times, and I'm living with a woman, how am I to refer to her? Girlfriend sounds silly, like I'm in high school. My partner, I don't know. Just tell me. Okay, so KI5ZIA, back to net, just tell me what to say.
Well, John, it's funny that you mentioned that because I've been with Mireya for over 20 years now, and we never signed the document. So for a while, I had the same issue as you. And I have a head full of gray hair. Girlfriend kind of sounds silly because we've been together longer than some people have been married. So I don't know. I say my Mireya. I say my Mireya, and that's about it. It's kind of hard to find a spot there to I don't know. It's funny you mentioned that, but yeah, I know what you're saying. Partner could be confused if talking about business partner. What are you talking about? So my lady, I guess you could say my lady. I like that one too, my lady. And but yeah, no man, I totally get you on that one. How's the recovering going, man? How's the back issue going?
It's just funny to me right now that like my granddaughter, 8-year-old granddaughter, chimed in the background a couple minutes ago. So apparently it's got all the way into the household here, all riled up. So I don't know, we're going to have to start a new net. Dear Ernesto, romance, advice from Ernesto or something like that on some night. So anyway, thank you all. Just joking around. Back to net. KI5ZIA.
All right, John. Yeah, man, you pushed me long enough. I'll start one of those Delilah shows here on the ham radio frequency where people can call in and tell me their stories. I'm up for it too, man. That's good topics there. All right, John. Do you have anything else for the net before I let you go?
I'm clear. Thank you, Ernesto. Appreciate it. I'm sorry. KI5ZIA.
All right, John. Well, I appreciate you checking into tonight's net. It's always a pleasure talking to you. I hope you have a nice rest of the week, and we will be talking to you soon. All right, that was my last person here on the short time check-in, so let me open it up again just in case there's somebody else out there who would like to check in short time before we get the other stuff started. So if you would like to check in short time, please call in with your name and call sign.
This is KI5YA, Marshall, South Austin. I have a comment.
Go ahead.
I came in to the last of that conversation. I'm an old dude. I'm in my 70s, and I've been married for going on 42 years. And if I don't say my wife, I say her name. And it works every time, and it keeps everybody cool.
Well, right on, man. Thank you for that advice. I got KI5WIA. Is that correct?
KI5 Yankee India Alpha.
Thank you. Got it correct now. I appreciate the correction. And your name again?
Marshall in South Austin.
Oh, Marshall, since I have you here, what's going on? How is the week treating you?
Pretty good. I've been doing some big-time studying for my extra class license. I'm hoping I'm going to test in about 3 weeks. The other thing that I was noticing, I've been getting these alerts from space weather about solar flares and solar winds, and today I got something about a geomagnetic crack that was allowing solar winds to really hit the Earth. So I was curious as to whether or not people were having trouble on HF trying to get through.
Comment?
Go ahead, comment.
SK5, MWA. Yeah, I was driving around today trying to work 10 meters a little bit, and it would come in strong for a while. Quite noisy, however, with the geomagnetic, and then and the solar. Channel, and I think she put out a new video today. That is the Space Weather Woman. Her name is Tamitha Skov, S-K-O-V, but you can do Space Weather Woman, and she does really good. She is a PhD in astrophysics, but she dumbs it down for the rest of it.
Awesome, Mike. It's a funky noise there while you were talking, but thank you for sharing that information. Appreciate it, man. All right, we're talking to Marshall. Hey, Marshall, do you have well, that was pretty neat. And well, actually, I have a comment here. You said you were studying for your extra class. How long have you been at ham? Curious, back to you.
I'm antenna system compromised, so it's kind of hard for me to do some real good HF. I'm trying to look into some ways of changing that, but I got a real small yard, and my wife Susan is not real happy about antennas all over the back. So, but other than that, I've been having a ball.
Awesome. How long have you been at ham? Back to you.
I got my technician's license at the end of September. Over.
Well, awesome, man. And you're already studying for your extra class. That's pretty cool, man. That's I know there's a lot of information to get to that license compared to getting your general. What got you motivated to get your extra class? Back to you.
The Elmo that got me into amateur radio had been out for like 20 years, and so he got back in last April, and I'd had a real bad accident and broke my femur in the summer, and when I was finally able to do some traveling, I went and visited him, and he showed me all his ham equipment, and he had some really cool stuff, and I'd always been interested in it, but just never had done it. So after talking to him, it's like, I'm going to do this. And that was like in August, and I came back to Austin and got really into studying. And he also helped me find equipment and everything after I got my technician license, and we've just been kind of going after that.
Well, awesome, man. I'm glad to hear that you're going all in. And yeah, getting the extra class, that's a big deal. That's a big project. So I am happy to hear that you're getting that out of the way. And awesome, man. Well, do you have anything else for the net before we let you go?
I'm cool and just listening. Over. Back to net.
Well, awesome, Marshall. Thank you so much for checking in to tonight's net. Pleasure talking to you. I hope you have a good rest of your week and an awesome weekend. All right, those were the short time check-ins for tonight. And let's see. Let me do an idea here. You're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net. Brought to you by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, cosine N5OAK. We're here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. My name is Ernesto, KI5PZN. That's Papa Zulu November, and I am your net controller for tonight's net. All right, well, before we get into regular check-ins, we are going to review a question or two from the ARL Current General Exam. If you have a technician license, this will give you a sample of what the test is about. And if you already passed your general exam, it's always a good thing to review the materials because we forget if we don't use it. So let's pass the mic now to Rick, AI5JT, for tonight's questions. Rick, the mic is yours.
AI5JT, this is Rick. How does this sound?
Son?
Thanks, Ernesto. I got a couple of questions off the general exam. Let's see, we'll go with the first one here, and we'll give folks with a technician license the first shot, and then we can follow up with open it up for other folks. First question is, what is connected to the green wire in a 3-wire electrical AC plug? A, neutral, B, hot, C, safety ground, and D, the white wire. Anyone want to give your call sign and offer what you think the correct answer is in your technician class? Please go ahead.
This is KF5STT. Charlie.
This is Kilo Juliet 5 Alpha Golf Hotel. Answers Charlie.
KI5ZTW Blake Charlie.
Okay, last chance for technician class before we move on. Please give your call sign and your answer. Okay, for anyone else, general and above, or technician and above, that would like to give an answer for this question, please go ahead.
BBS, put me down for Delta. Those boys don't know what they're talking about.
All right, thanks, Rusty. Anybody else?
This is Kilo India 5, Zulu India Bravo. It's ground, but I'm not sure which response that is.
I'll put one more down for Charlie with your response there. Anybody else?
This is KJ5AGI, Kilo Juliet 5 Alpha Golf India. The answer is C, Charlie.
All right, any other takers? Last call. Okay, I think we got everybody. So yes, the correct answer is C. I think this is the first question where it was almost unanimous. So everybody pat yourself on the back, and we'll move on to the next question. Next question is, how does current flowing through the body cause a health hazard? A, by heating tissue. B, it disrupts the electrical function of cells. C, it causes involuntary muscle contractions. D, all of these choices are correct. So anyone with a technician class license, please give your call sign and your answer.
W5LUL, this is Holly. I say D.
This is KJ5AGH. I'll go with D.
Any other technician class folks that would like to respond, please go ahead.
This is KJ5AGI. The answer is D, Delta.
Okay, after that long pause, I'm going to open it up for everyone in technician class and above. Please give your call sign and your best answer. Okay, how about you, Ernesto? You got an answer for this one?
Well, I was taking a little nap while you were doing that. I'm going to go with what AGI said, and I think AGI said that it was D, so I'm going with AGI.
K5TR.
I think someone was trying to break in. Please go ahead.
Yeah, this is K5TR. Rusty told me that it was the white wire.
Oh dear. Yeah, we've already moved on from that question.
No, that's the answer for this question. I don't know what letter it is, but I'm sure it's this one. That's what Rusty keeps telling me. K5TR.
Okay, any last call, anyone with a technician class or above that's got an answer for this question? Okay, well, I think we're done. Everybody, you can put your pencils down and turn in your answer sheet. The answer was D. So it sounds like a lot of people are studying for their general, and we're going to have a whole bunch of new general class licenses here at the end of the month. This is AI5JT mobile, sitting in my car looking at my laptop, and I'm going to hand this back over to Ernesto. Back to them.
Rick, thank you so much for helping out tonight, and heck, even more often than you were doing that, mobile. I appreciate you helping us tonight. For those of you who are thinking about upgrading your license, or if you know someone who would like to get licensed, the Oklahoma Radio Club is going to be offering in-person testing on the next quarterly meeting, and that's going to be on April the 22nd. That's Saturday after our meeting. If you want more information, you can go to m5oak.org, or if you have access already to Discord, we have a channel there called Get Licensed. I think that's the one, so you can get more information. And if you don't have access to any of that and you still want some information, you can shoot me an email. My email is my call sign, Kilo India 5 Papa Zulu November @gmail.com, and I'll give you more information about that. Now, if you're not ready by the 22nd for whatever reason, and you want to give it another shot, let's say in May, The Austin Amateur Radio Club is going to be holding in-person also testing at the Wells Branch Municipal Utility District building, the MUD building, and that will be on May the 6th at 10 a.m. That's the 14611 Wellsport Drive. And also, you can also shoot me an email, and I will be more than happy to point you into the right direction. We got plenty of places here to get tested, and we would love for you guys to get either license or upgrade your license if that's something that you would like to do. If you just tune in and you don't know what's going on, you're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net. Brought to you by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, callsign N5OAK. We are here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. And my name is Ernesto, KI5PZN. I'm your net controller for tonight's net. We're going to pass the mic now to Steve, KI5UKF. He's going to be helping us out tonight with the ham news. Steve, the mic is yours, my friend.
Thank you, Ernesto, and thank you for running the net tonight. Really appreciate that. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Ham Radio News. Our first story is titled Amateur Radio Hobbyists Catch Russians Talking About Recovering Downed U.S. Drone. Amateur radio hobbyists appear to have obtained audio recordings of the Russian military trying to retrieve a U.S. spy drone. They were monitoring publicly accessible airwaves after the MQ-9 Reaper drone was down following an encounter with two Russian warplanes last Tuesday, the New York Times reports. The radio intercept started about 8 hours after the collision in the Black Sea in what was the first recorded physical clash between Russia and the U.S. since the Ukraine invasion began. The clips reveal conversations between multiple Russian ships and aircraft over a 4-hour period discussing attempts to recover the drone's engine casing, nose, wing, and gas tank. Pentagon officials said any sensitive information was wiped from the drone software. Quote, whatever is left of that floating will probably be flight control services, that kind of thing, probably nothing of real intrinsic value to them in terms of re-engineering or anything like that. Close quote, National Security Council spokesman John F. Kirby told CNN. The U.S. has since resumed surveillance drone flights over the Black Sea region, officials said. For our second story, new general question pool released for ham radio licensing effective July 1, 2023. The National Conference of Volunteer Examiner Coordinators, NCVEC, Question Pool Committee, QPC, has released the 2023-2027 General Class FCC Element 3 Syllabus and Question Pool to the public. The new question pool is effective July 1, 2023 through June 30th, 2027. The new pool incorporates some significant changes compared to the 2019-2023 version. Its 432 questions were modified slightly to improve wording and to replace distractors. 51 new questions were generated and 73 questions were eliminated. This resulted in a reduction of 22 questions, which brings the total number of questions in the pool down from 454. The level of difficulty of questions is more balanced, and the techniques and practices addressed have been updated. The pool is available as a Microsoft Word document and PDF. The single graphic required for the new general question pool is available within the documents or separately as a PDF and JPEG file format. Quote, the newly revised pool must be used for general class license exams starting July 1, 2023, close quote, said ARRL VEC Manager Maria Soma, AB1FM, who is a member of the NCVEC Question Pool Committee. General class examination candidates preparing for their exams using the 9th edition of the General Class License Manual and or 6th edition of ARRL's General Q&A are encouraged to test by or before June 30, 2023. New editions of the ARRL licensing publications will be available in May for exams taken on or after July 1, 2023. And that's all the news you need tonight. Thank you very much, and back to you, Net Control.
Well, awesome, Steve. Thank you so much for helping out with the news tonight. Pretty interesting articles. Funny how we're using ham equipment and transmission, all that to find equipment. We've been doing our share of that by looking for interference sources in our repeater with something to start as a game. Direction findings, that's always useful. And then on the ham news, on the ham questions for the exam, I tell you, like, if you are planning on upgrading your license or just getting license, get that stuff out of the way as soon as you can, because I don't know, it's my suspicion that every year or every time they do one of those updates, they're going to add a bunch of new digital modes and computer stuff, It gets more complicated every year. I'm guessing the exam in 5 years from now is going to have so many computer-related stuff in it that it's going to get really hectic there. More stuff to learn. Does anybody have any comments or questions for about tonight's news? If so, please call in with your name and call sign. All right. Nothing heard. Thanks again, Steve, for helping out tonight. And let's see, we are going to pass the mic now to Jeffrey, KI5, Mike Victor Frank, for our weekly Fox News. Jeffrey, the mic is yours. Well, I guess Jeffrey got caught up at work. All right, well, we had a Fox last weekend, and that was myself. It was me who put the Fox last weekend, and the Fox was situated on that golf course on 38.5th Street and Red River. There is a creek that goes through that golf course, and that's where I hit the Fox. It was right there on the bed for the creek. And people who sign up the logs for that Fox were Rick, AI5JT. He was the first one to find it. After him, KA5FZU, that's Paul. And John and Diane, KE5RS. And I know Jeffrey got really close to it, but he didn't get to find the actual Fox and sign the log, but he got to the park. And then back to this coming weekend, if you are interested in fox hunting, yours truly is going to be having the Fox out there. I'm going to be posting, like I said earlier at the beginning of the net, I'm going to be posting that map on Discord. We have a fox hunting channel on our Discord, and I will be posting that map there. And the fox hunt starts on Friday at 6 p.m. and I'm going to go and pick it up on Sunday at 6 p.m. so that I can talk about it on the Weekend Wind Down Net, which is on Sunday nights at 7:30 p.m. on this frequency. All right, well, let's pass the mic now to Mr. Rusty WZ5BBS, our president, with the club and Trivia Net announcements. Mr. Rusty, the mic is yours.
I like that long, awkward pause. I wanted you to think maybe I was sleeping. Yeah. Howdy, Ernesto, everybody on the net. For all the new people out there, which we've got quite a few new people hanging around. We get new people every week. It's fantastic. We've got the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Friday Night Trivia Net every Friday at 9 p.m. Last week we had 33 players. We had our friends from Canada show back up, so we were again international. Last week's winner was Kent, KI5RVT. He was the number one spot with 2,117 points. Bill, W5ITZ, coming in second with 1,497 points. And Dave, KI5STT, coming in third with 1,411. So So congratulations to all three of them on being the top three of the Friday Night Trivia Net last week. The elimination round was pretty tricky, looks like. Everybody died at pretty much question 1. Ernesto made it all the way to question number 2, and Kent, KI5RBT, made it all the way to number 3. So it was a pretty short elimination round. As far as player rankings go for the entire Trivia Net, Alan, KB5VKP, is in the number 1 spot. Karin, KI5ZPA, in the number 2, and Kent, KI5RBT, is in the number 3 spot. Anybody can play. All you need is a smartphone, a tablet, or a computer. Bingo starts at 8:30, so you got something to do while you're hanging out waiting for the net to begin. And you don't have to have your call sign. We play it all online. You can listen over the net. It's way more fun if you do have a call sign. If you have control operators, you can come in and play like Mark. You can come and chat all you want to with us, but come hang out. To check out player rankings, stats, net logs, or any more information about the Friday Night Trivia Net, head over to n5oak.org and click on the Trivia Net tab. We also have a bit of official club business. We have N5OAK gear now available online. You can go look at the webs, n5oak.org. Just click on the Oak gear. And I think Scott, KI5OBD, was the first person to officially order a shirt. He got it. It's looking sharp there, Scott. So if you want your gear with our logo and all that kind of stuff on it, you can go find that now at the website. The next club meeting, like Ernesto said, is April 22nd at the Austin branch of the Austin Public Library. All the information is on the website and on the Discord. Our guest speaker this month is George, K5TR, and I'm looking forward to hearing about George as a master contester. He's also got the fox hunt guys stirred up about these 80-meter foxes, and the UT Club is interested in doing a fox hunt on the campus, so it's going to be fun to hear what George has in store for us at the meeting. And also, we're doing our first testing session there, so if it's time to get licensed or if it's time to upgrade, we will be doing those at the library after the club meeting. So April 22nd, you have till April 22nd, and you can register for all that online at n5oak.org. Just go to the Get Licensed tab, and you can register online and get paid and save yourself a spot. This weekend, we got the KI5PZN Fox Hunt, and that's going to be a fun one for sure, as long as the battery stays up. We have Texas A&M Net every Monday at 8 p.m. on all the repeaters. So for those A&M people, or if you just want to check in, the A&M Club's got some fun stuff going on. So come hang out with us on Monday at 8 p.m. and check in and see what's going on over in College Station. The easiest way to stay up to date is to subscribe to the official club calendar. Head over to n5oak.org and click on the calendar tab to make that happen. I've got new photos up on the website as well, so if it's been a while since you checked that out, go check out the photos and whatnot. Sign up to be a member. Most importantly, sign up to join the Discord. I've talked to a lot of people this week that weren't on the Discord, so n5oak.org, go click on the Join Discord, and we got the welcome team standing by, so they can approve your account. I think that's all I've got on my list of announcements and fun. Thanks for running the net, Snyder Nesto, and we'll see you later down the log. KI5PZN, WZ5BBS, back to net control.
All right, Rusty, thank you so much for all the announcements, for the trivia, and also for giving me a bathroom break right here. Before we get into all of the regular chicken shenanigans, I just wanted to mention, I got the latest version of On the Air magazine, it's ARL, the nerdy magazine that I like. And this, the March and April 2023 edition, or whatever you call that, has a really interesting article here on the cover. There is a young lady. She seems to be running in the woods with what appears to be, the little number tag that you get when you're running a marathon or 5K. He is also holding an antenna, like a loop antenna in her hand, a map, a compass, and a little radio with headphones. And what that is it's a flavor of fox hunting, but this is competitive. In case if you guys didn't know that, there is a thing. That's a thing, and people travel all over the U.S. and the world. There are championships on this. And basically they have, I believe they're 80 meters. Those foxes are 80 meters, and they hide them out in the woods, and you're basically running, trying to get that fox before anybody does. It's pretty interesting. If you receive that magazine, make sure you check that out. Or no, go ahead and Google that. It's a really interesting hobby for those of you guys that are young and vigorous. You can go and grab the gear and run through the woods. You might be interested in that. We have a bunch of young fox hunters in our group, and that would probably be something that you might be interested. All right, well, you are listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, brought to you by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, callsign N5OBK. We're here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. And my name is Ernesto, KI5PZN, that's Papa Zulu November, and I am your net controller for tonight's net. I'm about to get started with check-ins. New hams are encouraged to check in, so if you're a new ham or haven't been on the air much since you got your license, this is the perfect night for you. We would absolutely love to hear from you. We get all excited when new people call in. We are that geeky. And to help with the conversation flow, so if you don't have a whole lot to say or you get kind of frozen when you press the PTT button, I have a question for you to facilitate you calling in. The question for tonight is, what's your favorite thing to do in ham radio? What are you into right now on ham radio? And if you are a new ham, what's the plan? What are you trying first? You don't have to answer tonight's question, but it'll be a lot cooler if you did. All right, let's do regular check-ins. Any licensed operator, no club membership is required. We got all of the repeaters up and running, and they need some warming up. Any mode, anywhere, please come in with your name and call sign. Name and call sign slowly.
K5 Tango Radio, George.
This is Kilo Juliet 5 Alpha Golf Hotel, Tony in South Austin.
This is Whiskey 5 Sierra Mike Sierra Sean in Smithville.
This is Kilo India 5 Charlie Yankee Al Oak Hill.
This is Whiskey 5 Golf Charlie Hotel Ron in Driftwood.
This is
Kilo Juliet 5 Alpha Golf India, Suzanne in South Austin.
This is Kilo 5 Mike Whiskey Alpha, Mike down in Oak Hill also.
This is Kilo India 5 Uniform Kilo Foxtrot, Steve in Dripping Springs.
This is
Alpha India 5 Juliet Tango, Rick in Highland.
This is Kilo India 5 Zulu Tango Whiskey Blake Spicewood.
All right. We got a long list here. Thank you guys for not letting me talk to that air here. And let's see. We're going to get started here with George, K5TR. George, what's going on, man? How is the week treating you?
KI5PZN in the net, K5TR. Good evening, everybody. Doing okay. Having a good week. Let's see, I was going to make an announcement. I guess I can do that right now. I was going to tell you about, well, like to say, I'll answer your question. I think I've been doing this hobby for a long time, and I've tried a lot of different things. I feel like I've pretty much sampled almost everything ham radio sub things there are practically. And I recommend that people do that because it's a big hobby. There's lots of things. But for me, for the last whatever it's been, 40-something plus years, the through line has been contesting, mainly HF contesting, but also VHF and UHF contesting. So that's the thing that has been sort of the thing, but I've done lots of other stuff as well. And to that end, this weekend is the CQ magazine, the CQ WPX contest, WPX standing for prefix, worked prefixes. And it's on the HF bands on 160, 80, 40, 20, 15, and 10 meters. So even if you're a technician class, you can get on 10 meters. It's on sideband this weekend. And it starts at 7 p.m. local time in Texas and goes until 7 p.m. on Friday night, and then goes until 7 p.m. local time on Sunday night. So surely you can find some time in there to get on the radio. And I suspect with the sunspot activity we've had that 10 meters will be very active for a change. So that should be lots of fun, as well as all the other bands. And one of the things about this contest is that the prefix is the multiplier. So usually you try to make as many contacts as possible with some kind of multiplier times the number of contacts. Sometimes that's states, sometimes it's countries. In this case, it's your prefix. So like K5 is one prefix, and KI5 is a different prefix, and AI5 is a different prefix. And so those all count as multipliers. And as a result of that, a lot of times DX stations don't have as big a pileup. So that's one advantage of having that. But the other thing is everybody is a multiplier, so everybody needs to work a KI5 or a KJ5 or whatever. So I encourage you to get on the radio and make some contacts. The other thing about this contest that's good is that everybody counts for points. So you can work anybody in the world, doesn't matter where they are, and you can make a contact with them. So there'll be people inside the United States talking to people on the side of the United States, but also talking all over the world. So I encourage you to get on the radio. And then the other thing I was going to say, I was going to follow up on the direction finding stuff that Ernesto was talking about. That's called ARDF, Amateur Radio Direction Finding. And there's actually a really good Wikipedia article that does a really good job of explaining it, because it was written by some of the people that really do this. In fact, one of the main authors, I think, of that Wikipedia is the guy who lives here in Austin, Whiskey Mike 5 Radio, who's been to numerous world championships and competed. And they do 2-meter hunts and they do 80-meter hunts. So there's a 2-meter hunt and there's an 80-meter hunt, and there are up to 5 transmitters. Depending on your class, you might have to find 5 transmitters in the hour and a half or 2 hours that the hunt runs. And I encourage you to look that up. If you're familiar with orienteering, where you have controls on a topographic map, and you have to go find each of the controls, that's exactly what ARDF is. They use the same kind of orienteering maps. The only difference is the controls are not marked on the map. So you get a map, and you have to find the controls, but they all transmit, so they're not marked on the map as they would be in an orienteering meet. So you get to go wander around in the woods and try to find them. And I've done a few of those here in the Austin area. He's hosted a couple of U.S. championships here in Austin, and so I've done that a few times, and it's a lot of fun. I might do more of it, and you don't have to be young. They split it up by categories, sort of like any kind of running races. And there's old guys out there doing it. There's people that aren't in great shape. You don't have to be a runner to do it, is what I'm saying. If you can hike around in the woods a little bit, you'll be fine. So I encourage you to look that up if you're interested in that kind of stuff. And that's about it. KI5PZN and the net, K5TR.
Awesome, George. Thank you so much for sharing all of that information. Well, there you have it, guys. Contest all weekend long. If you're a technician, you can still participate. There's plenty of room out there for you guys in the bands. So try to get on the air if you can. Contests are fun, and usually the frequencies are pretty busy when that is happening. So you might want to check that out. And thanks for clarifying that on the fox hunting competitions, because I thought that, you know, it was kind of like a really fast race with fox hunting mixed to it. So that is cool, because if they do something like that close enough, I know that a geezer like myself can go in and participate and probably have a good time, considering that I'm able to walk the distance that are you know, there on those competitions. I found out about that not too long ago. I mean, I knew about fox hunting, but not. Let me let it reset before I time this out again. And Rusty started laughing. Yeah, I didn't know about that one, which is pretty neat. If you don't need to be a fast runner, I might start looking into it and see what's around us, and maybe we can get some of those guys to come to Austin and hold one of those contests here. That'll be a lot of fun, and have people coming from all over the place. Plus our group of nerds going out there and making it happen. That's awesome, man. Thank you so much. That's pretty neat. We got George here, K5TR. On the net. If you would like to say hi to him, or if you have any questions, please call in with your name and call sign.
I have a comment to myself.
Go ahead.
Two other things I forgot to mention. So in the contest this weekend, one of them is you do not have to be in the contest to make contacts. You don't have to submit a log for those contacts to count for other people. So if you just turn on the radio and want to, you know, exchange signal reports with a few people, that's fine. By all means, do that. And then the other thing is the exchange in this contest is a signal report and then a serial number, and it's a consecutive serial number. And the way it works is that your first contact, you would tell them they're 59 number 1, and your 100th contact would be 59100, and so that's how it works. And so when you hear people giving out those numbers, that's how they get them. And so it's really easy to do that. But I know that can be daunting or confusing, because when I first ran across a serial number contest one time, back before the internet, and I was out in the woods, and I was out at a farm, and we didn't have a magazine around, and we kind of looked at each other and went, what are these people doing? And we couldn't figure it out. And so as a result, we didn't make any contacts. So this contest is pretty simple once you understand that it's just a consecutive serial number for the number of contacts you're making. So you start at number 1 and go up. And that's it. K5TR.
K5DPX.
Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, George, do you record the serial number that they give you as well in your log, in your own log?
Yes, that's correct.
All right, cool, thanks. KF5DPX, back to net.
Awesome. Man, I was going to ask you something there, completely. That's what happened when you're getting older. Oh, I was going to ask you, do you have to give them like a grid number by any chance?
Just your call sign and the signal report and a serial number. And if you want to find out more about the contest or read rules or see past results, you can go to CQWPX, CQ Whiskey Papa X-ray.com, and that's where that contest lives on the interwebs.
If I don't want to participate, and if I just want to call out and help out the guys who are doing the contest, I don't have to be worrying about that number, correct?
No, you don't have to copy their number if you don't want to. If you're not going to submit a log, you just give them a number, and it'll be all good, and they'll happily move along. And if you do like I do, sometimes I've done some of these contests like from my car or something, and I'm not paying a lot of attention or not keeping a log. If I forget what number I'm on, I'll just skip ahead and pick some number higher up and keep moving. It doesn't matter.
Thank you for sharing that information. Anybody have a question or comment for George before we let him go? All right. George, do you have anything else for the net before we move on?
I do not. Have a good evening.
All right, man. I appreciate you checking in as always, and you make me laugh with that white cable thing. All right, man. Well, thanks again for checking in, and we'll be talking to you soon, friend. All right, that was George, and now we are going to talk to Tony, KJ5AGH. I met Tony. I think, yep, that's Tony. I met him at Waterloo breakfast a couple of weekends ago. Tony, what's going on, man? How is the week treating you?
KJ5AGH. Hey, Ernesto. Week is going pretty good. This is my first week as a ham. Went out on Saturday and took my technician test and passed. And my wife also came with me. She'd studied the week before. She kind of crammed and she passed the test too. So 2 new hams here. And outside of that, I've been spending a lot of time up in the attic, setting up antennas, bumping my head on roofing nails, and getting stuff set up. I was looking at some message boards, and somebody said something about getting your antennas set up first before you buy any radios, so I took that advice. And got everything set up. I got a VHF, UHF antenna set up and an HF antenna up in there. And then I got my radio set up yesterday, and yeah, my first time being on a net. And today was my first experience playing with HF, which was a really cool experience. There was a lot of stuff going on. I was just flipping around the dial, listening to all kinds of crazy stuff from all over the place. So yeah, just enjoying getting into the hobby.
Well, dude, congratulations on your license, and to your wife as well. Congratulations to both of you guys. I'm curious, what type of radio do you get? Back to you.
For the VHF, UHF, I got a Yaesu FTM 6000. It's like a simple mobile 50 watt, and then I have a Comet GP1 antenna for it up in the attic, which seems to be doing pretty well. I'm on low power right now, and seems to be working fine. And for the HF, I got the ICOM 7300, and I've got a Alpha Delta, I forget the number, it's EE. It's only like 40 feet wide. It does like 10, 20, and 40. Yeah, it was picking up all kinds of stuff from all over the world. So I was really worried it wasn't going to work in the attic, but apparently it does. I'm sure outside it would work better, but I think it's good enough to get me started.
Awesome, man. That's exciting. It's one of those, I guess, few things that we do. Out of all the things we do, setting up everything for this hobby, it's exciting. Usually when you're setting up stuff, it's annoying, but setting up stuff for ham radio, it's always exciting, putting antennas and everything, and then hoping that everything is going to work when you plug everything in. It's a fun thing to do. I don't know a whole lot about radios, but I know the 2 radios that you got. It seems like you're set there. But yeah, man, there's a lot of activity, and then within time, you're gonna start to find, the areas that you find more, I guess, appealing on HF, the bands, and the areas part of the band where the action that you like is. So you'll find your spots after you keep doing this for a little bit. Well, the question, I know that you just started on ham radio, and I have a question for tonight, and what's your favorite thing to do on ham radio? What's next? What do you think you're going to be doing? HF, digital, are you doing fox hunting? What's the plan? Back to you.
Well, I realized today how small the window is for technicians to operate on HF. So I started studying for general already anyway, so I'm going to hope to go get that in a few weeks, so I can explore that whole thing. And plus, I got to just read the manual on this thing and figure it out. I mean, it was easy enough just to turn it on and spin the dial and hear some stuff, but there's a lot going on with that radio. This VHF, UHF was pretty simple. I've read it for like half an hour and pretty much covered it, but the other one's another story. But yeah, that and fox hunting sounds like a lot of fun.
Well, awesome, man. It's funny. For me, when I started in this hobby, The VHF and UHF was more complicated because I've never done repeaters in the past. I was more used to 11 meters, which is kind of similar to HF, but without any, rules or regulations. But it was more of what I was used to. So it took me a little while to get the whole repeater thing going on and get better at that. But that's awesome, man. And what got you into ham radio? Back to you.
My brother was mentioning it to me. He recently sent me an old vintage receiver, like a regular stereo receiver, a Marantz, like from 1975 or something, and it was all trashed. And I replaced all the lights in it, polished it all up, and it's like new now. And so my wife and I have been collecting vinyl for the last few years and getting into all that. So I was just playing around with that, and then he started talking about ham radio, and then he was talking about how my grandpa used to be into it, and he had all these memories. My brother's older than me, and my grandpa passed away when I was younger, so I didn't really know him, but he had all these memories of going into like the spare room at grandma's house, and grandpa was in there with his radio and all that stuff, and so he wanted to start doing it, and he started taking his technician's training, and then I started reading about it, and I'm like, yep, I'll try it out. So it just kind of took over, and so that's kind of like just taken over my life outside of work and family over the last few weeks. Since I met you at Waterloo, I've been pretty absorbed in it.
Yeah, that seems to be a trend among hams. That's it's a black hole, and it's. Now I'm curious, how did you get your wife to get licensed? How do you convince her? Is your wife KJ5 AGI by any chance? Since the whole signs are so close.
Yeah, that's her. I don't know. She's just into it too. She thinks it's cool. She teaches 8th grade physics, and they actually just covered a lot of the stuff. She just taught a lot of the stuff that was on that test, and so she just wanted to do it with me. It's a fun thing for us to do. It's kind of hard to find stuff to do like that you have similar interests, with your spouse. So there's some things like I was saying, like collecting vinyl and listening to music and hanging out and stuff. And this is another thing we had a mutual interest in. And if you can find a mutual interest with your spouse, that's the thing to do.
Awesome, yes sir. That's golden. Yep, I got lucky too. I got Mireya licensed. I kind of tricked her into it, but anyway, regardless, she's still licensed. She helped me run a couple of the nets. Well, that's awesome, man. I'm glad that you got that out of the way. I'm glad that you also are checking into tonight's net. And well, we have Tony here, KJ5AGH. If you would like to talk to him, if you have any questions, please call in with your name and call sign.
BBS.
Go ahead, Rusty.
Hey Tony, congrats on the call sign, man. That's awesome. We'll have to go fox hunting again sometime, and now that you can get on the radio, we can actually chat and we can hang out and play. But yeah, man, welcome to the hobby, and look forward to hanging out with you. WZ5BBS, back to net control.
Hey, thanks a lot, Rusty. I appreciate it. It was great meeting you, and I'd love to go out and try that fox hunting again sometime soon.
Right on, man. Well, we always meet at Old Man Breakfast, so any Saturday at 8 a.m. you'll find Ernesto there.
Is that something that happens every week, or I thought that was just like a special occasion kind of thing?
Oh no, the Austin guys, that's the Austin Amateur Radio Club, and they've been having breakfast there probably since before I was born. And it is a staple. Like, you will find them there every Saturday at 8 a.m. And then I think they do lunch at Jim's on Wednesday. I could be wrong about that. But, yeah, every Saturday at 8. Talk to Rick, AI5JT. He's got all the breakfast down. He went to the Georgetown breakfast at the IHOP. It started at 6. And then came to the Austin Club at the Waterloo. It was at 8. So you can make the rounds, man, and meet a lot of people.
Well, 6 o'clock in Georgetown, I don't know about that, but I'll definitely hit up that Waterloo at 8 again, for sure. That was a good time. There was a lot of different interesting people there, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. If I'm eating breakfast at 6 a.m., I'm in no condition to be in front of the public, so I feel you on that one.
All right. Thank you, Rusty, for the comment. Yeah, Tony, that breakfast happens and for everybody else listening, that's the Austin Amateur Radio Club breakfast, Saturday breakfast, and that happens on Waterloo. That's on Burnett Road, just south of 183. We usually get there like around 8 o'clock, which is when they open. Crazy people like me get there earlier, but that's, you don't have to do that. And we're there for a few hours, usually a couple of hours, maybe, 9:30 to 10, we're already wrapping it up. And it's a great group of people. You get to talk to people who've been in the ham radio hobby for a long time. And we also got new people, too, that go to the breakfast. But it's a great place to go to and meet new people, and there is a bunch of Elmer material there. So if you have funky questions, things ham radio related, that's a place to go and ask a question in person. Or Discord, we can do, either or. But, yeah, that happens every Saturday, and it's been happening since, I think, sometime in the 70s. That's when that started happening for everybody listening. We got Tony here, KJ5AGH. If you would like to talk to him, please call him with your name and call sign.
This is 5MWA, Mike.
Mike.
Just want to say, Tony, welcome to the hobby. I've known about it 40 years or more, but I only got licensed a couple of years ago. I've already got my extra, and like you, I figured out real fast that I didn't have a whole lot of HF room, and that's been where my fun's been. I'm sitting here during the net playing FT8 and digital modes, and I just got Fiji and I don't know, a couple other places. I'm working on getting New Zealand right now, so it's kind of fun. There's plenty of room to grow in the hobby. You will get old before you'll get bored. And back to net.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. The HF is definitely just like very, very fascinating today. Going through it for the first time, I really enjoy that. It, like all the static and the pitch being off and all that. It's just like it's kind of eerie. It's just this big open space of ether out there that you can just kind of navigate, and there's just all kinds of people doing all different kinds of things, and it's really, really cool.
Roger, you'll enjoy it, man. Especially, I put a 10-meter radio in the truck, and I've been doing contacts when I'm driving between sites during the day. I think I got I forgot what it was now, St. Kitts or no, it was Curacao, the island of Curacao today, from the middle of Austin.
All right. That was mobile that you were hitting that?
Roger, mobile on about 40 watts.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's all I've got. Back to net.
All right, thank you, Mike, for sharing that information. And yeah, Tony, it can be done. I have 10 meters also in my truck, and yeah, you can do the X-Bowl driving around. It's pretty wild. All right, Tony, do you have anything else for the net before we let you go?
I think I've taken up enough time. Let's let somebody else talk. Thanks for hosting, Ernesto, and thanks for the welcome. And back to net, KJ5AGH.
All right, man. Well, appreciate you checking into tonight's net. It's a pleasure talking to you and having you here tonight, and we look forward to seeing you on the Saturday breakfast if you get to get up early. And also, we look forward to talking to you on the repeater throughout the week. You have a good rest of the week and an awesome weekend. If you just tune in, you are listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, brought to you by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, call sign N5OAK. We are here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. My name is Ernesto, KI5PZN, that's Papa Zulu November, and I am your net controller for tonight's net. And we're going to go now and check with Sean, W5ZMZ. I think I got your call sign, hopefully. Right. Sean, what's going on, man? How is the week treating you?
Hey, Ernesto. Hey, Net. I think that was for me. It's Whiskey 5, Sierra, Mike Sierra, SMS here in Smithville. Hope everyone's doing well. I have not been on the radio for, well, maybe 8 or 9 hours, but before that, not for months and months, so got some helpful prods from club officers to get back on the air, so not much to report on the radio end. I have been catching up on Discord while listening to the net. I jumped on the net maybe 20 minutes into it and have already almost fallen out of my chair a couple times, including such hits from John CFB with his animated GIF about the Rouge fox hunt, which was hilarious, and some other things, another channel. So I am really excited, proud, and happy to see the explosion of new members and just chatter in the Discord and stuff, and just hearing folks on the machine tonight. So it's been a while for me, but I'm going to try to get back to being regular on the net. So just wanted to say hey, and thanks for running the net, Ernesto, and nice to hear you and hear everyone else. So W5SMS, and that's all I've got. Thanks, guys.
Well, awesome, man. Glad to hear that you are back on the radio. To hear that people usually take breaks here and there, and I know life gets busy, and being an adult sometimes is kind of sucky. But I have a question for you, man. What's your favorite thing to do in ham radio? What are you planning on doing next?
The thing for me that's always been the most interesting, Ernesto, is the whole idea about antennas and their physical design and the electrical characteristics they have and the electromagnetic characteristics they have. For me, that's what's like the most interesting thing about the hobby. The sky hooks, like the fact that there's a physical object that induces a field, and then that field is deduced on the other end and turned into a transmission. So I think it's cool that in this hobby we have so much spectrum to play with, so you can choose how large or small your scope of building or whatever it wants to be. But I don't know, for me it's all about the antennas. So I think the next thing, I've been kind of threatening to put up a full wave loop out here on my property for, I don't know, a few years now probably. Have a doublet now, but I'd like to see how a full wave loop performs fed with ladder line. So that's kind of next for me. It just happens to be tricky to do, to hang several hundred feet of wire, and the only supports I have really are trees. So they're not the best trees for putting up pulleys and whatnot, and I just turned 40 in January, so I'm getting a little bit old. The wife isn't keen on me climbing trees in my Crocs, even though they have the best grip. But anyway, full wave loop is next on the menu for me out here in Smithville. W5SMS, back to net.
Well, awesome, man. That's pretty interesting. So all I've done is, a little end-fed antenna, and that's about it. But that's pretty neat. I would like to see the results of something like that. And I get it on the not having good trees to hang up stuff. I have those, I guess if I didn't have the end-fed antenna, I could get rid of those trees and I wouldn't be losing a whole lot because they're just not good for shade or anything. But they hold the cable, and that seems to work, man. So I'm I'm all right with that. Let me let it reset. On the antennas, yeah, it's pretty, it's interesting, man. And every time I think about it, you grab a piece of wire, and it's amazing what you can do with that piece of wire. And I'm starting to look at them as guitar strings, as just to try to make a sense of antennas in my mind. Quarter shorter go high, longer go down. It's pretty interesting, and it's the part that I would say it's giving me the hardest time in ham radio, the antennas, but it's very, very interesting. I got the ARL antenna book, and I'm going through that. I'm gonna reset again. I'm going through that. You learn a lot. You learn a lot from the ARL antenna book. For those of you guys who are new, it's a good thing to get the ARL antenna book. It has all kinds of things. All right, we got Sean here, W5SMS on the net. If you would like to say hi to him, or if you have any question for him, please call in with your name and call sign.
BBS.
Hey, Rusty.
Mo.
I heard you, Bill. So, Sean, I'll be real quick. I just want to say it's good to hear you on the net, man. And good luck with the Rat Zapper. I hope it brings you many successful kills. Thanks for checking in, man. WZ5BBS.
You bet, man. Appreciate the tip. It apparently will be here tomorrow, so we'll see. Thanks again. W5SMS back to net.
Go ahead, Bill.
Hey, Sean, N5SMO. Hey, I was just wondering, where you live, the ground is pretty soft, I'm assuming, if it's like the rest of Bastrop, where you can drill it fairly easily with an auger on a tractor. Have you thought about surplus drill stem, the length of that? When we got some for a fence about 4 or 5 years back, it was about $60 for, I'm trying to remember how long it was. I think it was a 32-foot long piece. I think it was 32 feet. And sink some of those just in the ground. You probably wouldn't even need concrete if you could pack it down good and put a halyard at the top instead of using trees. But I was just wondering if the ground out there is soft by you, maybe look at something like that. N5SMO back to net.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Bill. It's actually not. It's heavy clay, so I guess it's soft once in a while if it rains for like a day and a half or more. But yeah, I've thought about that material, and yeah, you're right. I think the joints usually are either 20 or 32 feet, and there is a good bit of that. I was actually just looking on Facebook Marketplace around me. I just don't have a great way to haul it. We have like my friend has like a car hauling flatbed trailer, which is I think 20 or 22 feet long, which I could pull with my truck. But yeah, I was thinking about that. There's also the paintball place like a mile as a crow flies from my house that closed down, Black Tree Paintball, and they have a bunch of their netting poles laying out there that they took down because they hung up a bunch of netting so that paintballs weren't flying around. And I've been trying to contact them, but it's kind of radio silent, so I feel like that might be my next best bet. They'll take like maybe $50 per, I think they're like 20-foot poles or more. But I appreciate the tip, man, and it's good to hear you. We'll see you next week. W5SMS.
All right. We got Sean here, W5SMS. If you have anything for him, please call in with your name and call sign. All right, nothing heard. Sean, do you have anything else for the net before we move on?
I don't think so, man. It's just nice to hear everyone. Really great presentation by everyone who chimed in, the announcements and the news. We'll rag on Jeffrey a little bit on the Fox News, but it turned out Net Control was the operator of the Fox, so you filled us in, Ernesto. But no, nothing else. Just thanks for running. Nice to hear everyone. We'll catch you again soon. W5SMS.
Well, also, Sean, it's good to hear you on the air and on the net. Thank you for checking in. And yeah, man, I don't know if you've heard me before. I've been a ham for almost 2 years, but we got so many new hams in the last year or so. I mean, the club has over 500 members now, so this is huge, and people are getting licensed by the bunch because I'm helping as a VE, and we get a full room every time we sit down and test people, so that's pretty awesome. Looks like the hobby is really strong. Thanks again for checking in. Have an awesome rest of your week and a kick-ass weekend. All right, well, you're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, brought to you by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, call sign N5OAK. We're here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. My name is Ernesto, KI5PZN, and I'm your net controller for tonight's net. All right, we were just talking to Sean, and now we're going to go and check with Al, KI5CY. Al, what's going on, man? How is the week treating you?
This is Kilo India 5, Charlie Yankee, Al, yes. No, I've been listening to you guys off and on now for a while. The week is treating me well. as far as what I've been doing, I've been a ham for a long time and came back to it. Started back in about last October with DMR, and so I've been playing with the DMR radios and got me a 878 handy talkie, and then I moved in and got a Radioddity 20G that I broke and opened up all the frequencies so I could operate on the VHF and UHF, and having fun doing that. And I'm going to break for the repeater. And so I've also gotten into building antennas. So I've got a couple of J-poles that I've kind of built, one for the GMRS frequencies, another one for the 440 ham bands. And then I've got a antenna tri-band antenna that I've put on my mobile and that works pretty good. But really getting back into it, I'm really, from my days of DX and having to deal with all the noise and the radios weren't as good and the filters and all that stuff, DMR is just excellent. It's just unbelievable what we can do and what I've got. So I'm working on trying to work all 50 states and trying to work all, as many countries as I can and go from there. But one question I have for SMS is, he's coming in from Smithville. Does he have a directional antenna into the 3.2 machine or what?
Hey, Sean. Sean, are you still around?
Like he stepped away from Discord.
It's fine. I appreciate it. So no, I've been listening to you guys and listened to the Foxhut thing. That thing is interesting. I used to have a thing that I built that had little directional antennas and LEDs that would work for that, but that was a long time ago and don't know where it is, and probably gone. And might be looking into doing that, but no, just getting back into the ham radio business again and enjoying it. I'm an old ham. I'm 72 years old and got a lot of time on my hands and keeps me off the streets, and I appreciate it. And one more question I had was for Rusty. He always talks about the ranch and this, that, and the other. I'm a rancher from down in South Texas and wondering where his ranch was, but trying to put a GMRS repeater over at the ranch for the kids that are now taking over. So that's it. So this is Kilo India 5 Charlie Yankee standing by.
So you're around?
Yeah, the ranch is it's halfway between Abilene and Fort Worth on I-20. It's a little town called Thurber, Texas. It was an old coal mining town, and so that's where I grew up. I went to school in Stephenville. I went to high school in Stephenville, so that gives you kind of the Palapena area. And so we were definitely central. We always called it West Texas, but all my friends were in Dallas. But it was central, it's Central Texas.
Well, I worked for the Texas Department of Agriculture for almost 7 years, and so you're pretty close to where Winters is. And I traveled all over the state, so I know more or less. And for me, definition of West Texas is anything else west of Fort Worth. And they're all golden people. Those people are great people, all West Texas people I've ever met. So it's wonderful. So I'm going to let you guys have it again. And Kilo India 5 Charlie Yankee, know that I'm out there listening. And I might not chime in, but the other thing is that gentleman that came on the other night was talking about Old Ham when he was at UT and this, that, and the other. And I'm trying to think. The reason that we came south from up there was because there was 2 or 3 or 4 guys that we started a Motorola repeater up here, and then there was another repeater that John, and I can't remember John's last name, who was an engineer at Motorola. He put a repeater up here on the water tower that's about half a mile from my house, but it's no longer there. So That's what I remember, and I remember bits and pieces. KI5CY, clear.
Awesome, man. Thanks for checking in. Yeah, this club is that was the I guess the 3M club before became the Oakhill Amateur Radio Club. So I think if it's the repeater on the Y, it's still up there. Well, awesome, man. I'm glad that you got back on into ham radio, and we keep saying we are doing fox hunts almost every weekend, at least every other weekend. So, I don't know, man, if you are into it, you might want to dust off all of those equipment that you said, that little project that you built, or maybe built a new one, and get with us, because we enjoy doing that, and it's a pretty big group of fox hunters at this point, and we all get along and give each other a hard time while fox hunting, and it's a really fun thing to do with this group, so keep that in mind. All right, let me open up the floor here. We got Al here, KI5CY. If you would like to say hi to him, you have any questions for him, please call in with your name and call sign.
K5MWA.
Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, Al, I think you said you're in Oak Hill. What area of Oak Hill? Because I'm also down here.
My house is located in a community or a neighborhood called Vista Verde. It's right off of Rawhide Trail that goes to the zoo off of Circle Drive. Do you know where that is?
Roger. We are over in the Scenic Brook area. So yeah, we're not too far away. There's two guys that live within rock throwing distance of me also. So one of them's a new ham, and he's like 3 houses over from me. We were talking Simplex one night, and we're like, where do you live? Oh, wait, I looked you up on the thing. You're like 2 houses over from me. So I just had to know. Thanks.
That's pretty funny, because I was also listening. The other thing I've gotten into is this SDR, and I was clipping some antennas for that and all that, and I was listening to the 3.2 repeater, and there was this guy, and I can't remember his name, who was checking in, and I was looking at the frequency display on the computer, and whenever he'd key up, I could see his simplex. And so I was going like, wait a minute. And so I started listening to him direct, and he must not be but a quarter mile from me somewhere, so that's fine. But yeah, there's a bunch of people down here. Enjoyed it. All right.
That's all I got. Back to net.
Mike, thank you for your comment. Al, do you have anything else for the net before we let you go, my friend?
No, sir. I just appreciate you guys. You all are doing well. 2 great things that you're doing. Having the University of Texas guys and all those young people involved is just restarting the excitement about the sport and all that stuff, and it's just, the ham is continuing to grow, and with the influx of the digital world and the internet and all that stuff, we can go anywhere, and I applaud you for doing that, and I'm eager to. I'll try to make the April meeting and meet some of you guys. So I appreciate it. This is Kilo India 5 Charlie Yankee. Over.
Well, awesome, man. Yeah, these are a good time for ham radios. Things are building up. A bunch of people are getting licensed. New people are coming in. It's really fun to see the new people going in and getting licensed. So we're really happy of where this hobby is going to. It's refreshing to see new people coming in and people who were out for a while coming back to the hobby like yourself. So it's really fun. We are really happy to have everybody coming back to or coming into ham radio. So thank you so much for checking into tonight's net. We look forward to hearing from you again. Remember, we have the trivia net tomorrow night at 9 p.m. and the Weekend Wind Down net on Sunday night at 7:30 if you are around. All right, we were talking to Al, KI5CY. Now we're going to go and check with Ron, W5GCH. Ron, what's going on, man? How is the week treating you?
Good evening, Ernesto, and everybody on the net. Good to hear from you. And yeah, the week's treating me well here. Not too much going on. Been out in New Mexico at my cabin for a couple of weeks and had been out of touch with you all. But yeah, I was going to comment that yesterday I talked to Sammy, W5 TXR, N5 TXR, and he was in town apparently collecting some of his last few things, and made a call on mobile to say 73s to people here in Austin, I guess, and talked to him a little bit, and he's of course recovering from a lot of his very serious medical issues, and getting relocated out there in Lexington, and so it's got to be sort of depressing for him. He feels kind of removed from the club here, and I told him he needs to stay in touch and try to get back on the net with us once in a while. So anyway, I got finished with him, and pause here. So when I got through here, Rusty got on with Sammy and talked to him for a little bit, and I had to head into the store to take care of some business. So anyway, I just thought I'd pass that along. It's be good for people to give him a call once in a while and let him know that you're still thinking of him, and try to encourage him to keep in touch. So that's about what I have going on. Back to net control. This is W5GCH.
Hi, Ron. Well, for those of you who don't know, you're new to the club or you're new to ham radio, Ron is talking about Sammy, N5TXR, and Sammy was the president of this club for a while. And before Rusty, Sammy used to run the show, and he used to run the nets as well. I got a lot of advice from him. I used to go into his house and ask him all kinds of questions about running nets, so I'm really thankful that he shared a bunch of his things with me about running nets and, you know, working in the radios, because he's been doing this for a long time. He's a very nice gentleman. He's been super nice to me as well, very friendly. And we do miss him a lot. Yeah, he used to live really close by here and just moved out there to Lexington. And I hope that he gets Old Star and he plugged into the repeater every once in a while. But I know when you move, let me reset. And going through all the things that he did, all the health issues, sometimes that could make things go a little bit slower. So it might take him a little bit to get situated. If you know him, if you have his email, he means go ahead and send him a quick email, quick note, letting him know that, you know, he's always missed here, and we would love to have him on the repeaters. Ron, I have a question for tonight, and the question is, what's your favorite things to do on ham radio, and what's next on ham radio?
Oh, I guess my favorite thing is just talking phone or voice over HF, and get in contact with people around the country and as far away as I can get, I guess. And yeah, I'm trying to get FT8 set up on my 991 here and try to get that going. I've got the driver to my computer installed, and that works, and the software downloaded. So I just need to do some fine tuning, try to get things up and running. But yeah, that's about what I've been up to. W5GCH.
Well, awesome, man. Glad to hear that. I haven't ventured into the digital world yet. I've been just like you said, just talking on HF and talking here on the repeater, talking people's ears out on the repeater and putting people to sleep. But that's that's another story. Well, awesome. Well, we got Ron here on the net. If you would like to say hi to him, if you have any questions for him, please call in with your name and call sign. All right. Nothing heard. Ron, do you have anything else for the net before we move on?
I would just add that Sammy is able to get in touch with 147.220 repeater out there in Giddings, and I've tested that repeater myself from my location, and I get a real strong report back from that repeater. Very loud identifier from it, and I have not talked to anybody out there yet, but it should be good. But anyway, I just thought I'd pass that along. Same tone as the clubs. W5GCH.
Awesome, man. Thank you for sharing that. I know Sammy's got an all-star node, so I'm sure it's just a matter of time before he gets all settled in and start connecting all the things and get his internet and everything in place. But yeah, we hope that he's going to connect and we'll hear him again. That's what we're hoping, man. All right, Ron. Well, thank you so much for checking in to tonight's net. It's always a pleasure talking to you. I hope you have an awesome rest of the week and an awesome weekend as well. We will be talking to you soon. All right, well, you are listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net. Brought to you by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, callsign M5OAK, and by awesome hams like you. We're here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central, and my name is Ernesto, K-I-5-P-Z-N, that's Papa Zulu November, and I am your net controller for tonight's net. And we were talking to Ron, and after Ron, we're going to go and check with KJ5AGI. I missed your name when you called in, but I looked you up on QRZ, and you show up as Suzanne. I don't know if you go by that or if you have a nickname, but what's going on? How is your week treating you?
This is KJ5AGI, Suzanne. My week's going pretty good. I got my ham license, and this is my first call into the net.
Well, congratulations on getting your license, and thank you so much for calling in. What's going on? What is going to be your first thing to do on ham radio? What are the plans for you? Back to you.
Well, Ernesto, I think my husband has been, feverishly working in the attic. I've been kind of on cat duty to keep cat away and out of the attic. The cat made it into the portal of the attic, so that wasn't good. So now, just kind of along for the ride, I was seeing some of the postcards, so I'm like, oh, that sounds kind of fun to try and hit, like, everywhere and get a postcard. So maybe that's it, is trying to collect postcards.
Awesome, and you can also do your, prepare yours. I think they call them QSL cards, but yeah, I know what you mean. It's the same thing at the end of the day. And I might be wrong too. So, I'm not the best person to ask for terms and official names of things. Well, awesome. I'm glad to hear that. It's sunny. It sounds like you guys had a similar situation that we have here at our house, where my Mireya, she's a ham, KI5SYX. She got licensed a little bit after I got my license, so she always joked around that she got lucky because I already installed everything, and all she has to do is come here to the room, grab the mic, and start talking. Everything is already set up for her. So that's pretty neat. I'm glad that you guys are both into it. There's a lot of fun stuff on this hobby, as you can hear by now. Aside from the fox hunts, which are amazing. There's just more laughing than anything usually when we're doing the fox hunts. But we get together all the time and do all kinds of fun stuff. And let me reset. And the Trivia Net, I don't know if you have checked the Trivia Net, but the Friday night Trivia Net it's pretty dope. That's at 9 p.m. and it's fun. We usually do that on Friday nights, and it's also a lot of laughs, so it's a fun thing to do. A bunch of nets, as you know, almost every day there's a net, and tons of things to do. Absolutely, tons of things to do. So I'm really happy that you got licensed, and welcome to the hobby. Let's see. Do you have? Well, actually, we have Suzanne here, KJ5AGI. I'm getting used to the new calls. Does anybody have any questions or call for her? So please call in with your name and call sign.
BBS.
Go ahead, Mr. BBS.
Hey, just wanted to say hi, welcome to the club, and if you like collecting QSL cards, that is totally fun. I got my first one from Hungary. That was the first ever QSL card I got, and it was the coolest thing to have in the mail. So they're fun, like they really are. It's a fun part of the hobby. You might look at doing SSTV, and SSTV, people are literally transmitting, images into the ionosphere. Not only that, but the International Space Station will beam them down as well. So SSTV might be something fun you'd be interested in as well. And you never know what you're going to get. So it's just like the radio. Sometimes they're cartoons, sometimes they're pictures, whatever it is. Go check it out. WZ5VBS.
I guess Rusty, is that you? I think BBS. The idea of getting that SSTV, I think, is really cool. How do you what was the question? How do you get the data from that? And then also, how do you get a postcard?
Well, so you get QSL cards. That shows that you made contact with that person. So when you start doing HF, you'll start doing contacts. It depends. I got mine for FT8, which I thought was really kind of peculiar. But as soon as you make a contact, that's like someone's way of sending you a thank you. Here it is. They're not as prevalent in the real world as they are electronic. Because postage is crazy and whatnot, but I've seen them. I've gotten several, and it's a whole lot of fun. Like it's random in the mail, and they'll show up, and it's some dude across the world who was like, "Hey, we talked on this date. Have a nice day." So it's a whole lot of fun. And as far as how do you get the pictures, there's software. If you listen to the signals, it sounds like a terrible modem sound, like, kind of back in the dial-up days. It's that kind of stuff. And there's a software that'll decrypt it and make it a picture. And with those, you can, the space station sends so many down, and then you can get an award for that.
That's awesome to hear about. Yeah, today it was pretty wild because we were kind of tuning in different things and picking up some of those modem sounds on the bigger radio system. So that's really cool. And yeah, I'm all about the swag. So I think I'm going to get a hat over at Lids with my call sign and some of those QSL, is that it? QSL cards to send out.
So something else to think about, we have NerdFest coming up. We've got the Belton Ham Expo, and it is an early morning thing, but it's a lot of fun. And one fun thing about Belton is they have all the people that make all the hats and all the call signs and all that kinds of stuff. So I think that's April 15th. So that's coming up super quick, and you can get all your personalized gear there. And if you haven't, you need to go do it. It's a whole lot of fun.
Thanks for the advice. I'm sure this hobby will become even more expensive than it already is.
Oh, absolutely it will. So just enjoy the ride and have some fun. Belton is also really good at showing you old vintage stuff and kind of how it was. So it will give you an appreciation for where you are now and all the things that you don't have to do, but it'll intrigue you to see what all it used to be. It's a whole lot of fun. So I recommend at least doing it once. But it's it's a 7 a.m. kind of a thing. It's early.
Good to know. Thanks for the advice. We're going to have to bring our kid along for the ride, too.
There's a La Quinta in the parking lot, and usually there's either a dog show or a gun show or a boat show, so there's alternate entertainment as well. So yeah, go check it out, the Belton Ham Expo. Well, welcome to the club. I'm going to send this back over to Net Control. WZ5BBS.
All right, Rusty, thank you for your comment. And Sam, I wanted to show you or let you know about an app that you could download to get those SSTV images. Like you could put your phone next to the big radio, the HF radio, when you hear that tone that sounds like an old fax coming in. And the one that I use is Robot 36. That's ROBOT 36. Robot 36, and you open that sucker, put it next to the radio, and you get the image there. And if you are doing, which is, I've done that, when it's the space station sending those images down, I've done it where I just go outside with my HT, and obviously you need to kind of know where the space station is going, what directions, and you can download another app for that. But you could, I've gotten out there, and then you point the antenna from your HT to the, to the space station, and you start hearing that tone. Again, sounds like an old fax machine coming in, and you put your phone next to your HT, and ta-da, you get the you get the signal. So you can get started like that. I know some people do it with the computer, but I don't like having a computer near my radios. Let me let it reset. So I've been doing that one, Robot 36. You can download it; it's free. And if you want to send pictures out, then there's another one called like Sam SFTV encoder, and that one is the one where you take the picture and then it turns it into that awful tone, and you can transmit that out. Obviously, when you get your generals, that way you can do that on HF. But those things are also happening on 2 meters as well as 70 centimeters. So keep an eye on that. And again, Robot 36 to get the images, and SFTV encoder is the one that I use to send those out. Sam, do you have anything else for the net before we move on?
No, I just want to say thank you so much, Ernesto and Rusty and all the people at the Oak Hill Repeater Club. I don't know if that's the right way to say it. I just want to say thanks for the warm welcome, and I look forward to now finding some new ways to enjoy ham radio and explore this whole world, and hopefully I can get some of my students involved too. Back to you. Thanks, Ernesto.
And don't ever feel bad about not knowing any type of term or something like that, because I'm here running this net. I run this net pretty often. I run the net every Sunday at 7:30 as well. And I know a thing about ham radio, especially those names. You have to think about the name of those cars. QSL car. I was going to say QSO. So don't feel bad. We all, it's a learning curve. We're all learning. And I messed up all the time with running the net. So, just grab the mic whenever you feel like talking and put your call sign out there and have fun. This is a fun hobby. And keep in mind that the word amateur it's on here, amateur radio. So we're not expected to sound like professionals on the radio, and we're allowed to make mistakes and call things by the wrong name. So don't feel bad. Again, we're really happy. Let me let it reset. That you and Tony got licensed. We are happy that you are joining our club, and we would love to see you guys on one of those breakfasts again. And we would love to hear you on the radio again. So you guys have an awesome rest of the week and a good weekend, and we will be talking to you guys soon. All right, and we just talked to Suzanne, and now we are going to talk to Mike, K5MNW. Mike, what's going on, man? How is the week treating you, my friend?
All right, K5MWA here, and it's been okay. It's been kind of brutal because last week we were off for spring break, and the time changed at the beginning of it, and that wasn't good because I slept in a lot, and I didn't get myself reacclimated to it. Let me let it drop. So, a couple of things to note to folks there. Ron, if you hit a snag trying to get FT8 running on your 991, I've got it up and running right now. In fact, tonight, since we've been sitting here doing the net, I've snagged Puerto Rico, Chile, Turks and Caicos Island, Rwanda, Fiji, which is my first one to Fiji, New Zealand, St. Lucia, and Ecuador, and that's just on FT8 on 2 or 3 of the bands, 3 or 4 of the bands. Let's see, Suzanne, I wanted to tell you, I also work for a school district and provide support to the Career Technology CTE program, and I don't know, you don't have to say which district or which school you work for if you don't want to, but there is a thriving ham radio club at the LASA campus here at Austin ISD, and I just thought I'd throw that in because they have an actual club going on up there, and they've gotten kids licensed. I'm going to let it drop and hand it back to Ned.
Well, also, Mike, and sorry to hear that you got a self-inflicted case of jet lag there for sleeping in. And I get it. It happens, you know, in vacation times on the holidays too. I kind of get out of my sleeping schedule there. Well, really cool, man, with the FTA making all those awesome contacts. Fiji, that's far away, man. That computer is sniffing out some faraway signal, so that's pretty neat. Question for tonight, Mike. What's your favorite thing to do on ham radio, and what's next?
Well, you had to ask, but yeah, I'm sort of old-fashioned. I like to just talk to people, and so yeah, I'll get out on HF and just find somebody to yap with. Make some DX contacts is one of my favorite parts of that, and then also the antenna building and antenna design and aspect of it. I'm having a lot of fun with.
Well, awesome, man. I'm with you there. I do the same thing. I obviously enjoy talking. That's my thing too. And antennas. It's still it's fascinating. It's still fascinating. I haven't done it yet because I haven't ordered that ladder line that I need to order. But that 80-meter dipole is still on the plans. It's just that work's been so crazy that I'll do it. I'll do it before the year is over for sure. We got Mike here, K5MWA on the net. If you would like to say hi to Mike, or if you have any questions for him, please call in with your name and call sign.
VBS.
Go ahead, Rusty.
Hey, Mike, I just wanted to send a shout out to you. So your morning brew net that you do with Roy and the gang. Thanks for telling him about the frequencies and all the craziness. By the time I called him and got a hold of him, like he knew what was up and like he was totally in the loop by the time I called him. And he said that he heard stuff from you. So I appreciate you throwing it out there and see what was going on. But yeah, it was funny when I called him. He's like, "Oh yeah, I talked to Mike on the net and I knew what was up." So thank you, sir.
Well, you know, Rusty, news travels fast in these parts, especially with the ham guys. And Ernesto, I'll tell you, I think the last time I was at Hamfest, I picked up some ladder line there, so you might be able to keep your eyes peeled and pick up some window line or ladder line, the 450 ohm, maybe, whatever it is. But I've got some here that I got. You can probably find some there.
You know, that's a good idea. I might be able to get it at a discounted price over there, because coaxing lines it's not cheap, and it's getting expensive by the day, man. It's pretty wild. And Rusty, for those of you guys that are curious, Rusty's talking about the morning group that might usually check in the morning. That's on the 444-200. The guys commuting at that time from 6:30 until around 7 in the morning. Usually it's every morning, Monday to Friday. I'm usually listening. I just can't participate because everybody around me is sleeping at that time. But it's a good round table there on the 444-200. Mike, do you have anything else for the net before we move on?
I believe at this point I'm finished, so I'll turn it back to Net. This is K5MWA, and I'm done.
All right, Mike. Well, I appreciate you checking in. It's always good talking to you. And like I said, I hope you have a good rest of the week and an awesome weekend. And we'd love to hear from you again, either on the Weekend Wind Down Net or on the repeater. We always talk, but thanks again, man. It's always a pleasure, and you have an awesome night too. All right, after Mike, we have Steve, KI5UKF. Steve sent me a message. He had to be no traffic. So Steve, thank you so much for helping out tonight. with the news, and I hope you have a kick-ass weekend. We'll talk to you soon. You are listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, brought to you by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, call sign N5OAK. We are here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central, and my name is Ernesto, K-I-5-P-Z-N, and I'm your net controller for tonight's net. All right, we were talking to Mike, we went to Steve with no traffic, and now we're going to go and check with Rick, AI5JT. Rick, what's going on, man? How is the week treating you?
AI5JT, thanks, Ernesto. Week is going very nicely. We're talking about the ham breakfast earlier. There's a third one up in North Austin. That's the Ham Buds group. They meet at a Mexican restaurant up over near Westwood High School. I forget the exact name. I think you can go to like hambuds.org for info on that. That one's at 8 o'clock, so if you do the Austin one, you can't go to that one. But those are all like every Saturday. Totally unrelated to that, the Williamson County Club, one of the members is offering a tower climbing class on the first of the month. We've got company coming in from out of town. I might not be able to go to that, but that looks really, really interesting. Not sure if I want to, strap on a harness and go climb up a tower, but if you ever thought you might need to know how to do that, that would be a good introduction to that. Nothing else exciting going on around here except that I've been waiting for someone to get out of class, and we're going to head home. AI5JT, back to that.
Well, awesome, Rick. That tower climbing class, that seems pretty interesting. I wouldn't go to, well, I wouldn't mind taking the class as long as you don't have to climb the tower just for the knowledge, because I already have a head full of gray hair. But for the young and vigorous, you may want to check it out. And I guess we can, do you know if that is announced on the Williamson County website, the Williamson County Amateur Radio website by any chance? Back to you, Rick.
It's on their mailing list, so if you're signed up to their groups.io mailing list, that's where I read, and some folks have RSVP'd over the list to that. Also, I don't know if you would actually be able to, climb up the tower for, liability, safety reasons, but you would certainly, I think, be able to learn how to properly attach yourself to the tower to where you could safely, scale up and then back down. But yeah, the specific details, I don't know. I haven't had a chance to look at that quite yet.
Well, awesome, man. We got to tell Jeffrey and Ray, because they like to do those type of things, so they might be into it. And the restaurant that you were talking about, where the Hambuds meet, that's Nuevo Mexico. And that Nuevo Mexico restaurant is in the corner of Anderson Lane and Lamar Boulevard, North Lamar and Anderson Lane. It's like a little strip mall there, and it's Nuevo Leon, and that food is amazing. So that's happening also at 8 o'clock on Saturday, and that's the one that Rick was telling us about. I don't know. He was also mentioning that one at 6 a.m. at the IHOP. I don't sleep a whole lot, so you might find me one of these days up there too and do the double whammy for the for the breakfast. I'm up for having breakfast twice. I'm not opposed to that. Rick, what's your favorite thing to do in ham radio, and what's the plan? What's the next things in your plate? Back to you.
The main thing is the fox hunting. I look forward to that every weekend. That's we really enjoy that, and it's like being able to learn a lot just because of that.
Well, Well, awesome. There you have it, folks. Fox hunting. That seems to be a winner. It's a lot of fun. Well, man, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's I get it. I'm into it too. It's fox hunting. It's running nets and all kinds of stuff. We got Rick here, AI5JT in the net. If you would like to say hi to him, or if you have any questions for him, please call in with your name and call sign.
VBS.
Go ahead, Rusty.
Hey, Rick, will you DM me that info? We'll make an announcement. See if anybody in the club is if anybody's interested. We'll see if we can't get them into that tower climbing thing. That sounds like a lot of fun. And also on the fox hunts, you like looking for foxes. You seem like you would be a good fox. So any plans, maybe eventually building a fox? You certainly seem capable enough to build your own. Any interest in that?
Yeah, it's Tom Whitesides is hosting the tower climb event. I think at his home. Let me check with him, make sure it's okay to distribute that outside of the Wilco mailing list.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
As far as like actually constructing or building foxes, I'm totally down for that. I've had some interesting conversations with. Oh, darn it! What's the guy's name? One of the UT guys.
David, KG5UBB, I think. Is this the ones with the UT campus fox hunts?
Yes, but it's more about like actually constructing. Like he was talking about doing a 433 megahertz low power fox, and there were some interesting ideas getting passed around there.
I know. I really love having them, and I love that they're very active. You know, like they come in here and they're very thoughtful, and they have a bunch of fun stuff. So I love that we have gotten closer to the UT club for sure. It's been fun to see all the younger generation trying to figure this out and get it done. So I think we're going to be seeing some neat stuff coming out of them. You know, because I guess we have Matthew is graduating, and then Ethan is a junior, and the rest of them are underclassmen. So we've got them for a while.
All right.
Well, to get me past my bedtime, Ernesto, thank you so much. We'll give this back to you. Thanks.
All right, Rick. Thanks again for helping out tonight with the exam questions. I appreciate your help, man. You saved me that right there at the end. So thank you so much. And another thing that I wanted to tell you, in case you want to, you can borrow my Fox anytime and put it out there. If you want to, just DM me, and more than happy to pass it over to you, and you can do your thing. All right, Rick, I know you need to go, so I appreciate you checking into tonight's net, and I hope you have an awesome weekend. Also, hope that you get to go fox hunting this weekend. I'm going to be putting the fox out there on Friday, and I'll be talking to you soon, man. You take care, and we'll be talking to you soon, my friend. All right, you are listening. If you just tune in, you're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, brought to you by the Austin Amateur Radio. With the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, call sign N5OAK. I'm running too many nets. We are here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central, and my name is Ernesto, KI5PZN, and I'm your net controller for tonight's net. We're going to go now and check with KI5ZTW. Blake, what's going on, man? How is the week treating you? KI5ZTW, Blake, are you still in the net? Are you still around? Well, I think we're going to mark here, Blake, as no traffic. And that was the last name here of my regular check-ins. All right, so if you would like to check in, I'm looking for check-ins. Grab that mic, push the PTT button, and call Net Control.
This is KI5YLS, Cody in Fort Hood.
This is Kilo India 5, India Golf Oscar.
All right.
This is WZ5BBS, Rusty, Northwest Austin.
Anybody else that would like to check in? Grab the mic, push the PTT, and call Net Control. Let's go and check with Cody, KI5WLF. Cody, what's going on, man? How is the week treating you?
Hey Ernesto, I'm doing alright. Can't complain. I have been working all weekend, or all week. Minus Tuesday and Wednesday when I had the days off. And if I'm not working, I'm sleeping. What it feels like. So, other than that, not a whole lot's really going on. Tomorrow night, I'm gonna go out with some friends to the country-themed club/bar that we have here in town. And other than that, not a whole lot's going on. Let me reset real quick. Just been chilling on my computer, continuing to make content from my from the last time I said something on the last Thursday night, I think it was, or the one before, making content. I do have to say that I kind of messed up at one point because I was trying to verify my other YouTube account I had or whatever, and somehow in the process, all my channels got wiped. I mean, all of them. Even ones I don't even use anymore. So that kind of sucked. Reset one last time. But other than that, just been trying to make content on these new accounts that I made, and so that's frustrating. But it is what it is. I guess a fresh start. But yeah, other than that, just going day by day. Back to you, Net.
Hi, Cody. It sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. You lost your content and have to start all over again. But I guess if you look at the positive side of this, that means that you can rebuild it better. So, because now you have more experience, you've been doing it longer. So your new content should be better than the one you lost. So, you know, it's life is like that. It's just like a pendulum. It's go back and forth. So you got to roll with the punches and just make the best you can with what you got. So, you know, make it better, and it'll be a good thing at the end. Good deal on the outing on the bar. That sounds like always fun. Just be careful out there. And, you know, think about Uber if you get too spicy with the liquor. Question for the night is, what's your favorite thing to do in ham radio, and what's next, Cody? Back to you.
Favorite thing to do in ham radio? Would it be too cheesy and too heartwarming if I said the nets of N50AK? Honestly, yeah. That's really the only thing I use my radio for right now, or use ham radio for right now, is just checking into this net. and then occasionally the Friday Night Trivia Net. But I mostly check into that one just to tell Rusty that it's rigged, because we all know it is. But anyways, other than that, not a whole lot's been going on. And what's next for my ham radio? Well, I mean, I want to attend the Bell County Ham Fest this year, and I'm already planning on attending Summer Field Day. So that, I guess that's next. But as for like my equipment, probably getting better equipment. That way I know every single night I can hit the repeater, because right now I'm on Echolink, and it is getting kind of annoying to always have to use Echolink, but I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, I think that's what's next, and that's what I like in doing, is checking into the Thursday Night Net and little tiny nets around here. Although I will say, no one is as good as this net, and I've checked into a couple of nets. So yeah, that's about it. Back to net.
Well, awesome, man. Thanks for the flowers. Yeah, we're a fun club. Everybody likes to participate, and the guys running these nets are really fun. Everybody has their own flavor, and it's always fun. It's I really enjoy it as well. One thing that you want to consider, if you don't like, or if you kind of get tired of using Echolink on your phone, is you could build a node, and you can probably ask Uncle Ray for help on that. Build a node, and that way you can use your HT. And yes, you're still using the internet, but you got the feeling of, of using a radio to talk. 'Cause I do that a lot. I have a little node here at the house, and I'm usually listening to nets all day long, 'cause why not? And yeah, it's a big difference. I used to do Echolink always on the phone, and there's nothing wrong with that. Heck, I've even run a net. I ran the Elmer's net one time using, I was in Fort Worth, and I ran the Elmer's net from using my phone. So it works just fine. But if you want to reset this. If you want that, feeling of talking on the radio, that's perhaps something that you might want to look into, because it feels like, like regular RF when you're using the HDN. Then you won't feel like, you have to use your phone. So something to keep in mind. We got Cody here on the net, Mr. Cody, all the way from Killeen. If you would like to say hi to him, or if you have any questions for him, please call in with your name and call sign.
KC3, NAG.
Go ahead, Randy.
Hey, Cody, what's happening, man? Like, I was trying to get you to do the questions on the net tonight, and we figured the way to do it would be to get to order some pizzas that, could only be delivered by you to get you out so you could get on, but I don't think Uncle Ray sent the message.
Well, that would have been funny, but I don't deliver all the way to Austin. God, you would have to tip. I would expect a pretty big tip if I did. Yeah, I got off at work at 9:30, so I don't know what time y'all did the questions, but probably closer to 9. But yeah, I would have been down to do the questions or the news if I didn't have to work. And I told them that I needed Thursdays off, but I guess they just couldn't do it, so. But yeah, no, that would have been funny, because I would have been I would have seen the delivery, and then the special instructions just be hop on the Thursday Night Net, and I'd be like, huh? It probably would have just confused me at first, and then I would have eventually gotten it. Back to you, Randy.
Well, yeah, man, I mean, we were thinking about you, okay? And obviously they must like you if they won't give you any time off, but, maybe we'll send Rusty over or something. Anyway, good talking to you, man. KC3NAG.
Thank you, Randy, for your comment. We got Cody here on the net. If you would like to say hi to him, please call in with your name and call sign. Cody, thank you so much for checking into tonight's net. We like to hear from you, so we are very happy to hear you tonight. And I hope you have an awesome rest of the week, and that you have also a good weekend and a good time with your friends. Like I said, be careful out there, but have a good time, man. And let's see, do you have anything else for the net before I let you go?
Just hope everyone has a good weekend, and I will be trying to get a little bit of radio time in here and there. Every Tuesday and Wednesday I have my days off, so I'm going to start trying to radio more, so I may get on the repeater. So if y'all are free during those days, say hi to me on the repeater. I'm going to try to work some things out and stuff like that. Other than that, just everyone have a great weekend, and I will be careful tomorrow night. But you can ask Ray, K5BZI. I'm an Echo. I can handle my liquor. Just like him. All right. But yeah, back to net. Y'all have a wonderful weekend.
All right, man. Be safe, and we'll be talking to you soon. That was Cody, KI5WLF. And now we're going to go and check with Marcus, KI5IGO. Marcus, what's going on, man? How is the week treating you?
It's not too bad. I'm heading home right now from work. I'm ready for it to be Friday night. Back to you.
Man, we're almost there. Almost there, man. We're, yeah. It's the weekend. It smells like the weekend already, so we are all looking forward to that. What's your favorite thing to do in ham radio, Marcus? Back to you.
I got my ham radio license about 2 years ago, and for my technician, and I got a mobile radio I'm using in my car right now, and then I got HT, and I just took a break from ham radio for a while for, I don't know, the bulk of the past 2 years because of all the information in the journal, trying to learn from it, and I just kind of, I'm going to let this reset. I just kind of walked away from it for a little while, and now I'm starting to get into it again, trying to listen to all the nets I can that I find while driving around. Back to you.
Well, awesome, man. I'm glad that you're back, and I said I know that life sometimes gets busy, and we have to do what we have to do as adults. But I'm really happy that you are back on the radio. And keep in mind that we do, Fox Hunt every weekend. If you have questions about that, don't hesitate to let us know. You can go to n5oak.org and join our Discord group if you haven't. And if you have any questions about fox hunting, please feel free to shoot me an email too. My email address is ki5pzn, Kilo India 5, Papa Zulu November @gmail.com, and I'll be more than happy to share information with you about fox hunting and all the things that we are always doing. We got Marcus here on the net. If you would like to say hi to him, or if you have any questions for him, please call in with your name and call sign. All right. Well, Marcus, do you have anything else for the net before we move on?
Thanks for the invite to join y'all on fox hunting and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I get a lot more into ham radio if I had people to do it with instead of just talking on repeaters by myself while I drive around. And that's it for me. Back to you.
Well, right on, man. Like I said, if you're not a member of the Discord, you can go to n5oak.org, and you can scroll down and hit the join Discord group, and one of the guys will let you in. And we have a bunch of channels with different things that we do. We do all kinds of stuff, including get-together all the time. And if you are free on Saturday mornings, there's a couple of ham breakfast. I don't know if you've been listening for a while tonight, but just in case, the one that I usually go, it's on Waterloo, on Burnett Road, just south of 183, and we get together there like around 8 a.m., and there's usually a few tables of people, very, very, very friendly people, and very knowledgeable. So, that's there in case you would like to join the fun. And yeah, like I said, we do all kinds of stuff, and it's free to join the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club. So if you are not a member, please feel free to check out the Jesus. N50AK.org. I need more coffee. But anyway, thank you so much, man. We appreciate you checking into tonight's net, and we'll talk to you soon, my friend. We'll be talking soon. So have a good end of the week and an awesome weekend as well. All right, if you just tune in, you are listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net. Brought to you by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, callsign N50AK, and by awesome hams like you. We're here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central, and my name is Ernesto, KI5PZN, that's Papa Zulu November, and I'm your net controller for tonight's net. We're going to go and check now with this dude, the call sign WZ5BBS, and his name is Rusty. Rusty, what's going on, man?
Howdy, howdy. Hey, everybody on the net. It's been a good week. It's been a busy week, but I got official callback from the city of Austin, and we need some video of the signal so that we can validate that it's there and that it's still going. So probably do that sometime this weekend, I'm guessing. We got to get this wrapped up as soon as possible, but again, congratulations, Jeffrey, KI5MVF, for winning that, and the Fox Hunt. People have had a lot of good times reading that report as to how we found the signal. So if you want to see how the Fox Hunt works and kind of what we're doing, go the 147 Rogue Fox Hunt map. Go check out all the comments and all the things in there, and you'll see, what we were doing while we were looking for that fox or for the signal. That was a fun one. I got nothing going on this weekend. I did not get much sleep last night, so I'm probably gonna call it early tonight maybe. And I'm looking forward to the weekend, man. No F1 that I know of, and as far as what I love about ham radio, for whatever reason, it's packet. APRS and like the BBS's, big surprise, but like that kinds of stuff is like super nerdy to me. So I've had an iGate running at my house for a couple of years now, and I have the little map, and it's fun to sit here and watch like real-time propagation and see when stuff starts opening up. Man, I can see stations over in Tampa and all the way up to, like Virginia, over to Knoxville, it's crazy to see how all these things light up. So I would say that's kind of my fun little nerdy part of ham radio. The other part's hanging out on the repeaters. We got a good group of guys now hanging out, monitoring the repeater, and so it's fun to throw your call out and actually get some noise. A lot of these repeaters are empty. But yeah, I'm looking forward to trivia tomorrow and the weekend, man. That's about all I got. WZ5BBS, back to net control.
Well, awesome, Rusty. And for those of you who don't know what he's talking about that Fox Hunt ordeal, is that we are having an interference signal going into the 147320 repeater. It's a very weak signal, and unless you're really close to the tower, you won't be able to hear that thing. But it's there, and it's been interfering with the signal. So a couple weekends ago, a bunch of nerds got out, and we found the thing. We found the source of the interference, so we treated it like a Fox Hunt, and we had a great time doing that. We put our fox hunting skills to good use there in the real world. So that was pretty neat. Pretty interesting, man, that I know that I've seen you running those things at your house. I'm just, too dumb to understand what all that's happening there with the iGate and all that shenanigans. But I'm sure some of you guys already know about those things. Any fox hunting for you this weekend?
It's a definite maybe. I'm definitely sleeping in. I think I've done 2 old man breakfasts now in a row. For whatever reason, I've had to get up early on Saturday, so I'm sleeping in this weekend. I will not be seeing your smiling face.
Wah, 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 wah. All right, man, I get it. I'm just a weirdo who doesn't like to sleep. We got Rusty here on the net, presidente of the club. So if you would like to say something to him, if you want to say hi, if you have a complaint, he's the president. Call in with your name and call sign.
EI5JT.
Go ahead, Rick.
I want Rusty to confirm whether there are actually 3 Ernestos, like 3 clones running around. That's why the people say that you don't sleep.
Yeah, he's nuts. And he's, he likes getting up early and he's like happy and perky in the morning. Like, that's not me. Like, I need my coffee and I need you to stay away from me. And then once I'm awake, so it's a lot to ask me to get up early and be pleasant and want breakfast. Like, it's a lot at 8 a.m. Like, there's no way in the world I could make 6 a.m. happen. Like, I would be this pouting old grump in the corner. Like, I would look like more of an old man than anybody there.
About the 6 a.m. breakfast, I think the main thing is making sure you're awake at 5:30 to make it there by 6.
Yeah, no, like I said, if I'm eating breakfast at 6 a.m., I'm in no shape to be in public. So that's not a good time to go hang out with the ham radio people.
One consolation is the breakfast at Waterloo is much better.
I will take your word on that, but I think the other club meets at IHOP, so, that's a little bit. I would hope that would be the case, but you're right, the food's good.
All right.
All right, good night, folks. EI5JT clear.
All right, man, have a good night. We got Rusty here on the repeater. If you would like to say hi to him, please call in with your name and call sign.
AG5SJ.
Go ahead.
Rusty, don't let anyone get you down. Morning people are not right in the head, in my opinion. And that's all I got.
Man, I've always been a night owl. Like, I don't care how much I get my clock in line. It takes me 24 hours and my clock's screwed again. And I like being awake in the middle of the night. Like, I get more stuff done at 2 or 3 in the morning. But, 6 a.m., and don't piss me off. For whatever reason, I'm wired. If you piss me off in the morning, I will be just all over you all day long. And it's like, I don't know why, but it just is. So morning is a very ginger carefulling time for me. And, it has to be observed. I'm really weird like that.
Amen to that.
Well, that's, your opinion, man. I don't like to sleep, and I'll stick with that. All right, Rusty, well, do you have anything else for the net before I let you go, my friend?
No, man, that'll do. Y'all have a good week and a good weekend, and we'll see you around the repeater. WZ5BBS, thanks for running the net, man.
All right, Rusty, have a good night, and thanks for everything you do for the club. And have a good night. Hope you get some good rest so you're ready to rock and roll tomorrow for the trivia night. Rusty, in case you guys just tune in and you don't know who Rusty is the president of the OK Amateur Radio Club, and he runs a trivia net tomorrow night at 9 p.m. So you want to stick around. I'm going to be talking about the nets before we wrap up the net. Randy, should I count you as a check-in? KC3NAG.
This is KC3NAG, Randy Anderson Bell, coming in on the flagship 320.
I'm so happy that you're still there. Randy, what's going on, man? How is the week treating you?
Not too bad, but working another project here. I've been sitting here taking temperatures of some pewter that I have for casting into silicone rubber molds. So I've been up and down the whole time of the net, trying to find that fine line of where the metal's just kind of half molten, kind of slushy, to the next little point where it's actually liquid, and then about 100 degrees above that is actually the temperature I want to pour it at. So, been up and down. I'm just data collecting. Hey, I'm up all night. Rusty, come on over, no problems. I got lots of projects you can work on. And Formula One too. Yeah, Rusty, Formula One. We need to talk about that. So that's pretty much what I've been up to, Ernesto. Back to you, man.
Oh, awesome, man. I have a question. What are you building there with those molds? So what's up? I'm curious. I have questions.
Well, I have years of mold making experience, particularly like resin bonded sand molds. Like, let's say you wanted a bronze model of like your big overstuffed couch or something. I could make a mold of that. You're looking at about like 3.5 tons of sand, and it'll be hollow with 3/8 thick walls into it. I did that for a living for a while. Put little rubber silicone molds, let me let it drop. I actually had an antique cast iron dragon-based candlestick, like Victorian era, and the foot was broke off, so I had to make a mold of the other foot, and then I had to make a wax casting of that and gently bent the wax the other way, like I had to take a right foot to a left foot, and then make another mold of that, and then make another mold of that, and then poured it in pewter. But I got my whole dragon back together, and I've had it for like 30 years, so I'm happy with that project. But I can make all kinds of small items, man.
Dude, that's fascinating stuff. I didn't know that you were into that. I'm a big nerd, so I like all those things. Awesome, man. I don't know if you're in I know you are on Discord, so when you get a chance, you should post some of those, some pictures of those projects that you're working on. That sounds really interesting to me, and I'm sure a bunch of people will find that also interesting. Well, that's awesome, man. That's pretty neat. Well, changing the subject here real quick, I have a question for tonight, Ned, and that is, what is your favorite thing to do on ham radio? What's next, Randy? Back to you.
Well, in all things, I'm beginning to really, I love HF 40 meters, particularly when there's really nobody on and it looks itchy, scratchy, and just pick a frequency and just sit there and call CQ until they get sick and tired of hearing it, and tell them I'm not stopping until somebody comes back to me, man. Come on. And you know what? 9 times out of 10, somebody will come back to me. So, you got me on that little tangent. But what I really enjoy during the day is Quick Mike and Rusty. Like, you cannot get you may as well sit back for half an hour if you want to get in, man. So I find that hugely entertaining.
I totally get it. Yeah, if Russ is in the repeater and I need to get in, I usually just send him a text to just shut up so that I can get in. But yeah, that's what we love him. It keeps the repeater up and running and happy. Well, that's awesome, man. That's pretty neat. I'm glad to hear that, you're having fun on the radio and you find your thing to do, and that you also don't sleep a whole lot. So another one for the another one of my team here. Well, that's pretty neat, man. Like I said, when you get a chance, go ahead and post some pictures of those projects that you are been working on. That seems like a pretty interesting thing that you're doing out there. We got Randy here on the net, KC3NAG. If you want to say hi to Randy, please call in with your name and call sign.
Quick Key McGraw.
Go ahead, Rusty.
I love that you check into our NetsNet, man. This is fantastic. We have to pull you in, but I like that we know you're lurking and that we can just throw out your name and it's like, here you come. So, thank you. Randy and I were talking earlier, and he agreed, I was like, we need a character on the repeater. We need, the town drunk, and Randy has signed up to be the town drunk on the repeater. So, if it sounds like he's had a stroke, it's just a character. It's just for fun. But, what are we going to do? I think we need to do a nightly NagNet or something like that, since you're the night owl, the night owl NagNet, and get you to just talk to people between the hours of midnight and 5 a.m.
Yeah, well, that probably wouldn't be a problem, really, because, without, quick Mike McGraw on, I could probably develop quite a big crowd base. And not cool on your drunk thing there, unless you want to be my sidekick, Crusty Rusty.
I'll be your sidekick all day long. I think it'd be great, though. I'll put it on the calendar, and we'll appoint people over, and we'll just do the nights with Randy, or something. We'll figure out a name for it, and you gotta keep everybody entertained on the repeater. You'll be the official third shift.
Oh, I've always liked working second shift. Any possible chance. Don't wake me up in the morning. And you know what? I don't even want any coffee. Just give me a beer, man.
See? I mean, you're going to win an Emmy for this role of the town drunk, man. You're already starting. I love it. WZ5BBS, back to net control.
All right, Rusty, thank you for your comment. Guys, we have Randy here, KC3NAG. If you want to say hi to him, please call in with your name and call sign. Well, all right. Yes, sir. We should start that Insomniac Net with Randy and Rusty. I know you guys go to bed really late. I'm usually in bed by 11:30 or midnight, and up by 5:30 or 6. But that's pretty neat. Well, Randy, I appreciate you checking in. Well, I drag you out, but do you have anything else for the net before I let you go, my friend?
Well, one other thing I was thinking, Ernesto, since you're not Sleeping Beauty, hey, you could kick in 2 or 3 and 4 on the hour and give us some kind of local update on something. I don't know, man.
It wouldn't be too far-fetched out there, because sometimes I get up at 2 or 3 in the morning, and heck, I even go to the back porch and have a smoke. So you don't know what you're invoking here. I'll show up in those nets and drive you guys insane too. But well, awesome, man. Thanks again for checking in on tonight's net and coming in and talking to us. It's always fun talking to you, man. It's you always have something fun to say, and we enjoy having you around, man. All right, well, if you just tune in, you're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, brought to you by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, callsign N5OAK, and by awesome hams like you. Here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. My name is Ernesto, KI5PZN, that's Kilo India 5, Papa Zulu November. And I'm your net controller for tonight's net. We were just talking to Randy. Randy just checking to the net, tonight's net. And you can do that too. All you got to do is press the PTT button and call net control with your name and call sign.
This is AG5SJ, Micah.
All right. Micah, AG5SJ. Micah, what's going on, man? How is the week treating you?
It's been tiring. When Rusty was talking about how exhausted he was and was just going to sleep in on Saturday, I felt that. That's been this week for not necessarily a good reason. Just been exhausted every day this week. And had a couple beers upstairs watching TV and came downstairs to put everything away and heard the net still going on. So as I am prone to do, I sat down and I'm catching probably the tail end of the net. So that's been my week.
Well, awesome, man. Probably the beer is what making you feel exhausted there. I'm kidding. I like my beer every once in a while as well. Micah, I have a question for you. What's your favorite thing to do in ham radio, and what's next?
Oh, well, that's a good question. I don't know if it's my favorite thing to do, but I think my favorite aspect of the hobby is that it's very DIY / open in terms of the technology. So these radios tend to have like serial ports, USB enabled or whatever, and sound ports coming out that are convenient, so you can write programs and do all that kind of stuff with tinkering. And I'm working on something that will never be finished, but it's some software to in general interact with my different radios. And tonight it's kind of coming together with all the interfaces I've got and the abstraction. So I like that it's the hobby. The equipment seems built around, I'm going to let you build something cool to interact with this, just because the entire point of the hobby is to tinker and not necessarily get anything out of it. So that's my favorite thing, and that's what I've been working on. AG5SJ, back to net.
Oh, awesome, man. Yeah, we got all kinds of flavors. We got people who like to tinker with stuff and build things, and hands-on on the equipment and how things get done. And we got the other flavor where you prefer just to get it and open the package and get to play with it. But and there are some things that are, I guess, in between, like those CW keys for you guys are into CW. You buy a key, you're like, oh, good, awesome, I'm ready to rock and roll, and then you get the key, and you still have to push the wires and solder the wire and the terminals and all that shenanigans. So there's still have to get some work before you get to play. So I like it a little bit. I like to mess with radios and stuff a little bit. I guess I'm in midway on the spectrum there, a little bit of both of those. So yeah, man, I get it. Let me reset. Definitely an interesting hobby for sure. I was really happy that I stumbled upon this because it works really well with my craziness, my nuttery here. So it's pretty cool, man. Well, awesome. We got Micah here on the net. If you would like to say hi to him, please call in with your name and call sign.
I do. Hey, Micah, good to hear you on the net, man. And I hope you get some sleep, man. I'm looking forward to Saturday. Maybe you'll recoup WZ5BBS.
Don't worry about me, man. I always get my sleep. No one's gonna stop me, because you cannot reason with me when I'm asleep. I will scream at you and go right back to sleep.
Yes. All right. I'm not that level yet, but I have a feeling I'm on my way. Have a good weekend, man. WZ5BBS.
Well, you guys sound like two hibernating bears right there, but oh, that's funny. We got Micah here on the net. If you would like to say hi to him, please call in with your name and call sign. All right. Nothing hurts. Micah, thank you so much for checking into tonight's net. I hope you have an awesome rest of the week and a really good weekend. I guess before I let you go, do you have anything else for the net?
I got nothing, man. I'm pretty boring. Good to hear y'all on. Good to hear the net going so late, and thanks for running the net. There's always a need for someone to do it. So those of y'all who do it and find the time to dedicate the multiple hours, it's much appreciated. That's it for me, AG5SJ.
All right, man. No, not boring at all. We enjoy your contributions to the net. So always, whenever you hear us, feel free to call in, man. We love to hear from you guys. That's what we're here, and I do enjoy running these things, as you can probably tell. And now, all right, we just talked to Micah, AG5SJ, and we can still look for check-ins. If you would like to check into the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday night net, please call in with your name and call sign.
This is Kilo 5 Victor Bravo Charlie. How's it going, guys?
Got Kevin on the net, K5BBC. Kevin, what's going on, man? How is the week treating you?
Week's been alright. It's been, I guess, rewarding. Kind of stuffy right now. It was a tough week at work. Debugging a lot of issues with code and just like really grinding through a lot of stuff. But I got a few things over the finish line today, so that feels pretty good. Looking for cheap deals on, different kinds of feed line and wire online right now. So shopping's always fun. That's about it for me, man. Can't really think of much else. I just wanted to check in. Back to net.
Well, dude, thank you for checking in. What are you planning on building that you're buying coax?
I pretty much decided that I'm putting up a dipole, but I have a lot of different space constraints, and I think you and I have chatted about that before. So, looking at, some variation of a multiband dipole, like a G5 RV type of thing. Just trying to see, like what's the most antenna that I can fit in my limited space constraints.
Well, right on, man. Don't forget that, like, Rusty, no, it wasn't Rusty, it was somebody else, that the Hamfest is coming up. Well, I guess everybody's mentioning it. It's coming up in case you want to go there and try to find good deals online as well. So far, I know you're in New Ham. What's your favorite things to do in ham radio? Back to you.
Yeah, that's a great question. There's the easy stuff and the hard stuff. So the easy stuff is hopping on here and being social with people around town. So that's, I'm not going to lie, I love that. I've got all these, kind of geeky interests that I'm into, but also a fairly social person. So that's the easy stuff, though. So mostly right now I'm kind of prowling around my QTH, just kind of like sizing things up. So everything's kind of stewing around in my brain right now. And it's work and it's planning and it's budgeting and it's all this, but I enjoy that too. It's much more rewarding doing a little bit of work. So I kind of go back and forth. Little bit of getting on here and just shooting the breeze with everyone, and then back to the drawing board. I'm trying to get an HF antenna up. It's everybody's so excited about propagation right now that it just keeps me motivated to get something configured for the QTH so I can get on some of these HF bands back to net.
Well, awesome, and yeah, it's definitely HF. It's really active, and it's a good thing to get into it right now. For sure, it's you definitely have tons of fun if you can get out there right now. It's so many things to do, but yeah, dude, I'm glad to hear that, and I think the setting up your shack, from what I've gathered and I've seen so far, I think that's a never-ending thing, because if you hear, like, George, for example, K5TR, he's been ham for a long time, since the 70s. He's always moving stuff around and buying stuff and fixing and changing, so I think it's a thing for all of us, and it's never gonna end, and it's part of the hobby too. You're just always thinking, moving things around and trying to improve or just change whatever you're doing. So in that aspect, it works really well with my craziness, because I don't get bored. There's always something to do and experiment and to go out and read about. So it's a really good hobby. It's a really good thing to get into. Well, we have Kevin here on the net, K5EBC. If you would like to say hi to him, please call in with your name and call sign.
I want to give you enough space there, Randy, just in case you wanted to check in. WZ5BVS.
Well, I missed that. I was napping.
All right, well then you can talk to Kevin next. All right, so Kevin, I just wanted to say it's been nice that you've been monitoring the repeater. I like getting on there, and you're usually somewhere back there saying hi. Thanks for letting me step all over your conversation with Chris. I had very little bit of time, and I wanted to say hi, so thanks for letting me come in and take all that, and apparently just quick key the ever-loving hell out of it. So hopefully we didn't cut you out too bad, and thanks for it's fun seeing you, man. You jumped into the club and to ham radio pretty much feet first, and it's fun to sit here and watch you get all this stuff put together and make it happen. So welcome to the club, man. It's been fun getting to know you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Rusty. And no, earlier that was totally fine. Yeah, the thing is, I've got my radios just within reach next to, it's like at my workstation, basically. And so I have them on a lot. It hasn't really been too much of a problem so far. I've been able to balance that pretty well with actually getting work done. So, yeah, that does tend to mean I'm lurking quite a bit. I appreciate the kind of greetings and well wishes too. It's been a great experience so far, and both the hobby and the community that I've fallen into here with the Oak Hill Club kind of both feel like home in a way. Not to be too sappy about it, but it's just really easy for me to get into. So, yeah, that's it. K5BBC, back to net.
Well, dude, get on the repeater and talk all you want, because that's what they're here for. So say hi, and yeah, man, make yourself at home. WZ5BBS, back to net control.
Thank you, Rusty, for your comment. And do we have anybody else who wants to say hi to Kevin? Please call in with your name and call sign.
KC3 NAG.
Go ahead, Randy.
Hey, Kevin. Kind of missed part of what was going on there, but hey, there's nothing with like working and lurking, man. I don't know how Rusty keeps a job, but hey, cool hearing you on, man. Like, seriously, jump on in. Like, I don't even turn the radio on until probably 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but it's usually scanning the band. So nice to hear you, man. KC3 NAG, back to you.
Hey, Randy. Yeah, thanks for Thanks for reaching out. Yeah, working and lurking. I like that. I'm going to steal that and tell everyone I made it up. But no, in all seriousness, thanks. And yeah, it's good to talk with you a little bit. Back to you, K5BBC.
Yeah, all right, man. Well, don't be a stranger. Rusty's the only one that's a danger. But he's the club president, so we gotta be nice. Yeah, whatever. All right, cool, Kevin. I'm gonna flip it back to Nut Control.
Randy and Rusty, thank you for you guys coming. And Kevin, regarding the lurking while working, I have a Studio B, which is that's Rod used to say that. Another radio by my workstation as well. And the way I look at it is, well, people get up and take a 15-minute break, smoking or whatever. Well, we stop whatever we're doing and we jump on the radio for 10, 15 minutes and we'll clear up our mind talking to other hams. So there's nothing wrong with that, man. As long as you can continue balancing that out, you should be good there, man. All right, Kevin, do you have anything else for the net before we let you go, my friend?
No, not really. One of these times I'll have an interesting update about something I built. And one thing I was going to say is, like, your comment earlier about kind of the shack never being done. If there are any new hams listening, brand new like me, maybe you also feel like I do, which is like, yeah, it's a never-ending thing, but there's a huge difference between 0 HF antennas up and 1 HF antenna up. So I'm pretty excited about the one that's about to go up soon. The difference between 0 and 1 can't be overstated. Anyway, that's all. Back to net.
Well, that's exciting, Kevin. I hope that, you get that up there pretty soon and you get on the HF bands very quickly. All right, man. Well, thank you again for checking into tonight's net. It's always a pleasure talking to you. I hope you have an awesome Friday and a good weekend as well. And let's see, you are listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, brought to you by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, callsign N5 OAK, and by awesome hams like you. We're here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central, and my name is Ernesto, KI5PZN, Papa Zulu November, and I'm your net controller for tonight's net. All right, I think the check-ins are kind of dwindling down, so I'm going to do one last call here for check-ins. If you would like to check into this awesome net, all you got to do is give me your call sign and your name.
KI5RBT, Kent, just wanted to drop in and say hi.
Holy smoke. Kent, what's going on, man? How is the week treating you? I haven't talked to you in a while.
I've been absolutely slammed by work. I was off last week with the kids, so pretty good. Feet are doing better, legs are doing better, knees are not doing so great, but I'm getting there and I'm moving more and losing weight still, so trying to stay alive. I'm going to be doing some antenna projects in the next week or so I'm sure you all saw that on the antenna channel. But anyway, that's about it. KI5RBT, back to that.
Well, awesome, man. Glad to hear that you have, things are doing better, you're feeling better. And, yeah, I saw your project. That kind of reminded me of that cross arm that I used to have in my mast for loop antenna. I took that down, but yeah, it looks pretty similar, and that's pretty neat. Question for you, Kent. What's your favorite thing to do in ham radio? Back to you.
I would say something kind of smarty and say something about trivia, but actually it's just actually getting to talk to people. I'm a very non-social person. I don't want to say I'm antisocial, but it wears me out. But the people I get to talk to on ham radio are, similar-minded and, well, maybe except for Rusty, but, just good people, and I like to talk to them. KI5RBT.
Oh, awesome, man. Yeah, no, I get it. I get a lot of fun out of talking to people, and it's a really good community. Everybody seems to be really nice and open-minded, so it's very nice. All right, we got Kent here on the net, KI5RBT. Want to say hi to Kent? Please call in with your name and call sign.
This is.
Go ahead. There was a weird noise in your transmission there.
I've been busy too, and hey, this is Mike. So back to net.
I caught just a tiny bit of that. Was that Mike?
That was Mike.
Mike, do you mind coming back again? There was a weird noise when you were transmitting.
It's ready to go. My son played with it for a little while and wanted a bigger one, so I got him a bigger one. So that one's ready to go for you whenever you want. It's been tested and it works.
Alrighty. Well, I'll hit you up. I've been busy, so I haven't even thought about it, but I'll hit you up in Discord pretty soon.
Sounds good. KI5RBT.
Thank you, Mike, for the comment. We got Kent on the repeater. If you would like to say hi to Kent, KI5RBT, please call in with your name and call sign.
I do. Hey, Kent, did y'all go to the Museum of Illusion, or did you just say it was open and that you would look cool? I forget which.
We went. It was a good 15 minutes and $83 spent, but we had a lot of fun. I hope it expands. They have this tunnel where the thing rotates around you. And even though I knew exactly what was going on, I still felt myself trying to fall off to the right. And my wife had to close her eyes and hold on to my shoulders to walk through behind me. My son loved it. You know, he's kind of an artist, so we were talking about perspective and all that stuff. But it was okay. I'll post a picture up on the Discord, KI5RBT.
Right on, man. You never know how those are going to be. So I've got, nieces and nephews that are 10 and under, and I thought it might be kind of fun for them. So cool. Thanks for sharing. Back to net control.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Rossi, for your comment. Kent, do you have anything else for the net before we let you go?
Just to tell you, if you do set up an Insomnia net or Grumpy Old Man at Night net, I'm probably going to be in because I spend my time doing random stuff, cleaning up 3D prints and doing junk like that all night long, it seems like, and then I have to struggle to get up in the morning. So I'm like Rusty, I am not a morning person at all. So KI5RBT, back to that.
Well, there you have it, Rusty and Randy. The fan club keeps growing for the, I don't know if we're going to call it the Grumpy Old Man net with Rusty and Randy, but they're not grumpy, they're fun, so we'll find a name for that. Well, Kent, thank you so much for checking into tonight's net. I'm glad to hear you on the repeater. I haven't talked to you in a while. I'm glad that things are doing well and that you are working on getting the shack back up. All right, well, thanks again, man, and have a good rest of the week and an awesome weekend. All right, well, you're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, brought to you by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, @ N5OAK. We're here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central, and my name is Ernesto, KI5PZN, and I'm your net controller for tonight's net. Anybody else would like to check into tonight's net before we wrap it up, please call in with your name and call sign. All right. Looks like it's time to wrap up the net. But before we put a bow on it, let me read you a list of the local nets so you can stay radioactive throughout the week. We get started on Mondays with the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club 6 Meter Mondays, that's hosted by Rick AI5A, that's on the 50.125 megahertz, 50.125 megahertz at 8 p.m. on Mondays. That's 6 meters, and you can get there if you have a technician's license. Also on Mondays at 8 p.m., now we have 3 nets on Mondays, we have the Williamson County Amateur Radio Club Newham net. That's on the 146.640 megahertz at 8 p.m., 146.640 megahertz. Also at 8 p.m., the Texas A&M University Amateur Radio Club Information and Training net. That's on the N5 OAK repeater system and the University Link repeater system, and that's also at 8 p.m. On Tuesday night, we have the Oak Hill Southside Simplex hosted by Ray, K5BZI. That's on the 146.555 megahertz frequency at 8 p.m. That's a simplex net. We do not use a repeater for that one in case you're new ham. That's on the 146.555, and you tune in. And if you can hear them, you can try to see if you can check in and talk to the guys on Tuesday night at 8 p.m. On Wednesdays, we have the UT Amateur Radio Club Wednesday Net, hosted usually by Matthew, KN4LRA. And that's on the University Link repeater system and the N5 OAK repeater system. That's also at 8 p.m. on Wednesdays. On Thursdays, we have the Oak Hill CW Net, hosted by Pat, W5WTH. And that's on the 3.532 megahertz, 3.532 megahertz frequency at 7:30 p.m. just before this one. I didn't get to check in tonight because I was getting ready for this one. But that's a fun net. If you are starting out on CW, you want to check that out. You don't have to be an expert to participate. And you can also tune in and use an app. I forgot this Morse code app that you could use to decode the code in case you want to listen to that. That's at 7:30 on the 3.532 megahertz frequency, again at Thursday night. Also on Thursday night, this one, the Oak Hill Thursday Night Net, hosted by a different operator every week. And we are on the N5 OAK repeater system and the University Link repeater system. Again, we start at 8 p.m. every Thursday with a new person, with a different person every week. On Friday night, we have the world famous Oak Hill Friday Night Trivia Net, hosted by Rusty, WZ5BBS. That's on the N5 OAK repeater system and the University Link repeater system, and that one starts at 9 p.m. That's the only one that starts at 9 p.m. here during the week. No software to install or accounts to create. All you need is your smartphone, tablet, or computer to play, and your radio, of course. That's on Fridays at 9. On Saturday, we have a couple of nets. We have the Austin Amateur Radio Club Elmer's Net, hosted by Jeff, N5MNW. That's on the 146.940 megahertz at 7 p.m., 146.940. At 9 p.m. on Saturday, let it reset, we have the 220 megahertz Guys Original Preservation Net, hosted by Steve, KB9DSQ. That's on the 224.100 repeater at 9 p.m. on Saturday. Or if you want to use Echolink because you don't have a 220 radio or you're not in your repeater, you could use Echolink and you could connect to WM9W-R. That's Whiskey Mike Niner Whiskey Romeo, and you can participate in that net. That's a really fun net on Saturday night at 9 p.m. Sundays, we have a bunch of nets. We'd start with the Austin Amateur Radio Club weekly 10-meter net, and that's on the 28.410 megahertz at 3 p.m. on Sundays. That's 28.410 megahertz, the 10-meter net, and if you have a technician license, you can participate on that net. Again, it's on Sundays at 3 p.m. On Sundays at 7 p.m., we have the Travis County Aries Weekly Net. That's on the 147.360 megahertz repeater at 7 p.m. At 7:30 p.m. on Sundays, the Weekend Wind Down Net, hosted by me, Ernesto, KI5PZN. And that's on the University Link repeater system and the N5 OAK repeater system, again at 7:30 p.m. And at 9 p.m., right after the weekend wind down net, is the Austin Amateur Radio Club SWAPnet, hosted by Jeff, N5MNW, and that's again on the 146.940 megahertz repeater at 9 p.m. And don't forget to go to n5oak.org to check the calendar for the DMR machine net. There is a net every night on the DMR machine, so go to n5oak.org and look for the calendar for the net. Those are the local nets that we have access through here. You can stay radioactive throughout the week. And don't forget, we have the Friday night trivia net tomorrow. That's tomorrow at 9 p.m. with Mr. Rusty, WZ5BBS. And like I said earlier, no software to install or account to create. All you need is a web browser and your smartphone, tablet, or computer to play. For more information, go to n5oak.org and click on the Trivia Net tab to check that out. Let's get a count on tonight's check-ins. And we have 25 check-ins tonight, and with me, I guess I'll be 26. And let's see, I would like to thank every one of you guys for checking in tonight, and that was Bill, Ken, Lou, Dave, and the other Dave, John, Marshall, George, Tony, Sean, Al, Ron, Stan, Mike, Steve, Rick, Blake, Cody, Marcus, Rusty, Randy, Micah, Kevin, and Kent, and myself. Man, that was a really awesome group of ham. Alright, well, thank you for joining us tonight. The Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net is narrowcast courtesy of the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, callsign N5OAK. We're right here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. We are a non-profit based in Austin, Texas. For more information, please visit n5oak.org, where you can read about the club, sign up for our email list, or donate to support the continued growth of amateur radio. Don't forget to join our Discord group, where we stay in touch when we are not on the radio and when we are on the radio too. It's a great place to go and ask questions. Don't forget to check that out. We would like to thank Kyle, KA5D, for linking the University Link repeater system for this net. Thank you, Kyle. I'm Ernesto, KI5PZNM from my QTH here in East Austin, Texas, 73, and thanks again for hanging out with us tonight. I will see you guys on Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. right here for the weekend wind down net. This system is now returned to regular amateur use. Thank you guys. This was a fun net.
Thanks, Ernesto. Night, man.
And get some rest. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Ernesto.
Too bad, dude. I'm always around.
And everybody else. K5VBC clear.
Good night, John boy. WZ5BBS.
Nice.
Go to sleep, Rusty. You need your rest so you can do some quick making tomorrow. KC3, NAG.
I've already put WD-40 on my PTT, so it won't be all squeaky, and we'll guarantee to keep you out of the conversation tomorrow, I promise.
Well, you keep everybody out, so that's not really a problem, man.
I can't help it. I get excited, and my lips start moving, and it just happens. It's really bad with Anderson. I love it because we're just like back and forth. So I get it. I do it. I'm admitting that I have a failure, but it's a fun one, and it makes you talk. So I might keep doing it just to keep you around.
I see how you like goad somebody into quick mugging, but it's not going to happen. But on another note, hey, F1 man, I think I missed the Australia race, and I think they were in Bahrain last weekend, QSL.
They started in Bahrain. They were in Saudi Arabia last weekend. From what I see, we're off this weekend, so there's nothing to do.